Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
We are live, hanging out. Hi, Reeves.
Hi.
It is our Thanksgiving show today. We don't have a Thanksgiving show that we normally do to the whole wide internet like this, but we just decided.
But we do today.
We do today. We do this year. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Let us know where you're from. And the weather is beautiful here. It's finally cooled down in Arizona, and we are very happy for that because it felt like a long, what was it, like a week or two ago on our live cooking show? I was like, it's 100 today.
Yeah.
On
now
Halloween
it
almost.
was like 45 this morning.
So it changed. It's nice now. We are doing a really quick, easy meal for you today. This is my favorite thing to eat. This is, yes, it's a Thanksgiving meal, but it is the easy side of a Thanksgiving meal. Let me explain, okay? We were about to make a YouTube video, just making the simple Thanksgiving meal that we like to eat, not just on Thanksgiving, but all season long. And we're like, what? I was a little bored of doing a regular old cooking show YouTube video, so we're like, why don't we just do a live stream, get everybody involved, have a fun time. It's way more fun for us to be live interacted. Look, everybody's in the chat, I get to see it, and Reeves will be reading your chats out loud, but this is what's fun for us. So we decided to do it this way, this time. Yeah, we're still gonna obviously keep making YouTube videos. Nothing changes there. But so today we are making what I consider, the things we make today should be on your Thanksgiving table. Maybe you'll have some other things too if you're fancy, if you're hosting, whatever. But this was meant to be your like core Thanksgiving enjoyment meal that you can start eating now. You do not have to wait till Thanksgiving. I feel like
I do that all the time. Thanksgiving, a holiday rolls around and I'm eating it and I'm like, I should make this more often. Why have I sequestered this just to the day of the holiday? So I'm glad we're doing this early, Dill.
Growing up, I feel like I only ate gravy on Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day. And now, also thanks to us having a really simple product in a bottle to make homemade gravy, which I'm going to show you gravy from scratch today. But it helps to have a fast way of making gravy. But my point is, these flavors, why are we waiting till just the day of? It's like only eating candy on Halloween, you know what I mean? Terrible. So we're eating Thanksgiving all month long. So we're gonna make mashed potatoes, gravy, roasted veggies, the fast, simple, well-your-world way that doesn't include a bunch of extra steps and crazy hoops to be jumping through. And we're also going to have all the recipes that we do today are in this guide. So if you don't have this guide yet, go to wellyourworld.com/holiday guide and you can download the PDF that's gonna have what we do today, but also like at least half a dozen other recipes that are holiday recipes that you'll love. So make sure you download that guide and you'll have everything that we're doing right now. If you have potatoes, mushrooms, carrots, celery, onions, some veggies, you could cook along with us if you want to. We don't normally do, as you know, we have a live cooking show. I'm going to turn this on also, by the way, so you can see right where the download is, right in the corner. Not that corner, that's Reeves. That corner. Download it right there. So we'll leave that up so you can see where to get the recipes that we're making today and a bunch of other free recipes that we're including in that guide to make a wonderful Thanksgiving. We've got a lot going on today, folks. Should we just keep on announcing?
Yeah, announce away.
This is a live stream, so if you came to this on the replay and you just want us to get to the cooking, you'll have to fast forward. We got things to talk about. We're gonna do a picture slideshow later, give you some updates of the kids. This is our community live stream. We're here to actually hang out. So if you're in a hurry and you just wanna know how I make potatoes, I've probably already got that video on our channel, okay? But we have got a big announcement. Our Cosmic Dust is released right now. You can get it on the site. Don't leave the live stream. But this is our third of our kind of salt substitute type of seasonings. We've got obviously our Stardust. Here, I'll get them. We have our Stardust, our Galaxy Dust, whoops, and now we're gonna have, here it is, the Cosmic Dust. So now you can get Dusty. They're all up there. The Cosmic Dust is the new one. They're all a little bit different. The one that doesn't have the yeast is the Galaxy Dust. Stardust has a little yeast, but it has much more of like a saltier flavor from the celery seed. And then Cosmic Dust is just like an all-purpose, use it for everything type of seasoning. I don't just use it as like a salt substitute at the table. We're gonna use it to make our roasted veggies today. So get that. It does have some nutritional yeast, lots of herbs and spices and flavor, a little bit of black pepper. It's not spicy, a little bit of black pepper in it is all. So we'll be using that later. So that is another big announcement. We're doing a sale also, if you're interested, on our Holiday Classics cookbook. This is my favorite cookbook out of our 5. It's got so many awesome holiday, what?
There's one over there. I thought you were looking.
Oh, okay. I can grab that. I'm kind of blocking the screen there. But we've got, our holiday book is $10 off right now. And if you buy the hard copy version, which is, I should call it a paperback, because some people get confused when I say hard copy and they think I mean hard cover. But hard copy just means it's not software like a digital, it's hardware like a physical book. Here it is, tons of, and by the way, in all of our cookbooks, every recipe, full page images, never an exception. You got a full page picture for every recipe. I cannot stand books that don't have the picture right there by the recipe. I don't search with words, I search with pictures. So get that book. It's for sale right now. I don't know how long the sale will last, maybe another week or 2 or something. But okay, what
Heather
else?
says, time to add cosmic dust to my cart and finish up my order.
There you go. We've got our soups. We've got 10 soups now that are for sale. They have been flying off the shelves, super popular. I'm excited about that. And then of course, if you like this type of video, you should join us for our cooking show. We have a membership on our website, in case you don't know. That is us doing this, what we're gonna do for you today. We do it 2 times a month for our paid audience, and you can join us. Our next episode is next week, and we're doing a soups episode, okay? And then after that, we're gonna do another probably, well, I don't know. We did Thanksgiving right now, but normally our second show of November is always our Thanksgiving show. So we'll probably do that. It's a more, you know, it's a quaint group. It's a little more private, so I am a little more silly. I don't know, am I?
Off the cuff?
I mean, we dressed up for Halloween in our last show.
But
if you wanna, should I be showing that?
Get to the cooking, get to the chopping.
Just get to the cooking and do a slideshow later.
Are the cookbooks available internationally?
The digital version is, we will have a, excuse me. The digital version is we're gonna have Canada shipping hopefully before the end of the month. I'd like to have our Canada shipping turned on, ready to go before Black Friday, because we are actually also gonna do a live stream like this. It's gonna be our like QVC telethon. It is gonna be like Cyber Monday or possibly a Tuesday. I haven't figured it out yet. I don't even know why I'm telling you yet, because it's not set in stone, but we are gonna do it, and I hope to have Canada shipping in time for that. We are really close on Canada shipping, and I think you're gonna be happy with how the numbers are coming out. So get excited. Okay, should we get to the cooking?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get to the cooking. And let me put this back up so that people know where to get the recipes. There they are, right there. Okay, potatoes, where are my potatoes? We are going to start with, let's get some mashed potatoes cooking. Mashed potatoes, gravy, and roasted veggies. I love this meal. This is my core Thanksgiving meal. You wanna do a couple of other fancy things, little side dishes with it? By all means, we've got some in the guide and you can try those out. But this is like a weeknight meal for me. Mashed potatoes, gravy, roasted vegetables. It's so easy to make. It's just like Mama's home cooking every day of the week. So enjoy this during the week. Don't feel like this is a special meal. This whole live stream is not meant to blow your mind with some kind of chefy recipes. It's meant to show you how fast and easy it is to get Thanksgiving flavors, stay compliant with your healthy diet and lifestyle, and also to be here together chatting it up and having a great time. So with that, let's do this. Any comments or questions you have, make it kind of obvious to Reeves with some big question marks, and she'll read it aloud. You can throw me off course. I don't have an end time on this live stream. I'll hang out all day if you want to hang out and talk. Whatever. Okay? It's not like our membership where I try to keep it to 90 minutes. Well, that's not true. I fail at that all the time and go over. The show's often 2 hours. But hey, whatever. Let's do this thing. Okay, I've got a pot and some potatoes. The potatoes, all I did. By the way, yeah, we got, the 4 camera angles. We got this one, we got the cutting board, we got the Reeves cam, we got the stove cam, we got it all here. It's high quality, okay? Potatoes. I took some russets. I love to do actually a mix. I don't always do this, but a mix of russets and golds. See that? And all we did was peel them and throw them in water so they don't turn brown, okay? That's just what we've been, because I did it, you know, before the show. I wasn't going to sit here and peel potatoes this entire episode.
Just peeling potatoes with Dylan.
I'm going to dump out some of this water, and we're going to chunk these potatoes up a little bit smaller, and we'll see what I can fit in one tank here reasonably. Now, the recipe that in the download right here, I did the Instant Pot method, okay? You can do your potatoes in the Instant Pot, super simple, but and I'm gonna make this point, is I wanted to show you how few tools you need to do everything that we're doing today. Cutting board, a knife, a couple pots, you know, some mixing bowls I'm using just to hold things on their way to the pot or pan. Another pan, we'll use this for gravy, maybe a baking sheet. You know, these are things that any standard American diet eater probably even has. A little parchment paper on a baking sheet. You don't need an Instant Pot to be successful eating the way that we eat. You can get the gadgets. We are going to blend up the gravy a little bit, but any old blender will do. It doesn't have to be a fancy high-speed blender. So you don't need a lot to do this. Somebody really tickled me with a comment about how this is like an expensive way to eat or something. There is no cheaper way in the whole wide world to eat than the way that we eat healthy whole plant food diet.
Especially when the potatoes go on sale for Thanksgiving and they're like $1 a bag because they're trying to lure you in.
Yeah, but even at regular price, it's beans and rice and lentils and some vegetables. And you can even buy frozen vegetables. We need to cut these up a little smaller so that they will cook. We're just going to throw them in a pot here and see what we can fit. Like I said, I did a mix of some golds. Some people prefer the gold potatoes. They're real creamy in mashed potatoes. Some people love the russets. I like to do a mix sometimes. So we'll just chop up some potatoes to these you know, a couple and a handful size because we don't want to be waiting all day long. And it might take like 15 or so minutes of boiling to soften these.
You answered someone's question on the potato preference.
Okay.
You know, we tend to just buy russets because we really like to narrow down our shopping list to the essentials.
Correct.
Which is funny because, Dylan, you were saying, oh, we've got the carrots, we've got the celery, we got the onions. Those are all the things we already always buy. So we can literally make this meal at any moment.
Yep.
Mushrooms are always on the list, and we always buy the same kind because we just like to make it easy.
The only thing I don't always have on the list is maybe some of the things I would roast for the roasted veggies. We're going to chop up a butternut squash. So for those of you who are intimidated by the butternut squash chopping, we'll do that together. If you want any tips, tricks, hacks, I'll get me talking and they'll just come on out. So you know what to do. I'm like that teacher you had that you can get off task very easily back in grade school.
Why put the potatoes in water first?
This is because we were storing them for a little while. Potatoes, as you know, once you peel them, they turn brown pretty quick. So what I'll do is if we're prepping for the show, then we'll just immerse them in water and they will not turn brown, okay? So that's just a little hack. If you got potatoes and you're prepping them a little bit early from the time you're gonna cook them, store them in a little bit of water and they'll be fine. I've even stored them in the fridge in water overnight. It doesn't like make them soaky or soggy or anything like that. And then usually the chefs tell me that you add room temp. So I just pre-poured this so I wasn't waiting for my little filtered water siphon thing. So I'm just gonna cover the potatoes with enough water to where they are all in the water. So like that. And that's plenty of water, okay? And now what I like to do when I cook them on the stove and when I cook them in the Instant Pot is add my seasoning. So some of this water is not gonna make it into the final potatoes, obviously. We're also gonna add soy milk to give them some creaminess, but I love cooking them with some onion and garlic powder in the water. It just, I don't know, it was my friend Kathy Fisher who first showed me how to do this, and I just love doing it. And you can use this potato water also when you're mashing too. Let's go to the stove and get these going.
Okay.
Any
Can I
question?
cut up my pumpkin roasted as a vegetable?
Oh my gosh, yes, you absolutely can. Here's one behind me. Should we do it? This one's been sitting for a day though.
That's a jack-o'-lantern now.
Yeah, this is a jack. We had some extra pumpkins, so we carved one last night with the kids just because I wanted pumpkin seeds. So, you know, that's what we got going on here. This is no longer appropriate for Halloween's over.
It's okay, a few days late, that's all right. ZG says, I often throw cloves of garlic into the water. Great idea, because then you can, I'm gonna use the ricer. If you don't know what a potato ricer is, you can get one at IKEA. This is the one I have. Or actually, this might be the OXO brand. This is the OXO. But you can buy these anywhere, but they make a really creamy mashed potato. But you can just use the hand masher, no big deal, whatever you prefer. Deborah says,
that tool.
I've never heard of adding spices to the water. I'm in.
I'm in. I mean, when it's garlic and onion, you can't go wrong. So that's what I did, and I always enjoy it. And you can save that water and you can use it for when we're making gravy in a little while, when we're mashing the potatoes, whatever. But getting the potatoes, look how easy that is. Peel a few potatoes, chop them, throw them in there, and you got mashed potatoes. I mean, that's like the fastest thing you can prep for just a regular old weeknight meal. And then you can make enough to enjoy for lunch too, because all of this stuff we're doing today heats up great.
Yes, it does.
All right. Okay, so that's that. I also like to add a little nutritional yeast, but we'll get to that. I don't add it to the water. I just add these two to the water. So let's make space and let's start our next, which is, and like I said, all these recipes are right here. Go download them. A lot of people are still coming in, I see. Okay, let's do the roasted veg. Now, this comes down to whatever you like. Whatever food you like, roast those, and not the things you don't like. Some people don't like Brussels sprouts. I love them.
But I will say that fennel is one I don't think a lot of people know about.
I love roasted fennel. It takes that fennel-y edge off, but still has just a little, and it's a wonderful, crunchy little root vegetable. I guess this isn't a root vegetable. What is this called? I'm not a botanist, nor am I a chef. I just come up here and I make friends with people while cooking. That's what I do. Okay, let's roast some veg. So we got a cauliflower here, the fennel, some carrots. I don't know, we have other things. You could do some like sweet potato if you want. I know that we already got potato, but you know, potato on potato, why not? Let's get rid of this. And this is really, we'll chop these into a bowl. You know what, I'm gonna use
fennel is an herb, they're saying.
Fennel's an herb, okay.
Just ate mashed cauliflower for breakfast, seasoned with nooch, onion, garlic, yummy.
Mashed cauliflower. Okay, here's our cauliflower. Should we do a little chopping discussion? Do people want that? I don't know how, you know, everybody's coming at this with different experience, but for a cauliflower, here's what I do. You can just cut it right down the middle for starters, and we're probably only going to use half, so I'll set the other half aside. And then we'll get this core out. You know, some of the stems are fine, but we want to get this core out. So for that, I just kind of cut like that, cut around the top a little, and you can just kind of, all the florets will fall right off, and you're left with this core that you can toss, okay? And now you have ready to go cauliflower. But if you really want to cut corners, you can buy the bag of pre-chopped fresh cauliflower. You can use frozen too. Roasting frozen veggies works pretty well. The texture is going to be a little different, maybe a little softer, but it does work. But you can buy prepped, chopped florets of cauliflower in the bag too, in the regular fresh produce section. So don't feel like you got to do all the work every time. And now just chop them into whatever you think are reasonable bite-sized pieces for you. Some people like big honkin' roasted veggies. Some people like them a little smaller. I like to take a bite and not get it all over my face. So I'll just, if it's too big for me, I'll just cut it on my plate too, you know. So there we go, there's some cauliflower. Let's not be that careful, okay? This is not a thing that needs to take a lot of attention or care. It's just cooking. Am I right, y'all?
Yeah.
Okay, there's about, that's a lot. We're probably gonna do a couple of baking sheets worth, it looks like, at this rate, Dylan. That's going in. Okay, all the little stuff you can save, you can enjoy too. For the sake of the show, I'm gonna get rid of it. Okay, Next, what do we got? Some carrots? Let's do a few carrots. I don't bother peeling my carrots, just clean them well. And then what do you got to worry about? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So cut the nasty ends off. And then you can just cut them again, however you like your roasted veggies. This common is like an offset kind of deal like this, like some nice chunks.
Oh, fancy.
And then, boom, you got some nice roasted carrots. They should be nice and soft. Carrots take a little bit more time than some of this other stuff we're roasting, like cauliflower, but that's okay. The cauliflower might be a little softer than the carrots, or if you really want to go to the trouble, you can separate your soft things and your hard things and whatever. Okay, there's a couple of carrots. Looks pretty good, don't you think? Okay.
Bell pepper, says Denise.
Bell pepper would also be great. Here's our fennel. I just take off the top stuff. Some people like to use that. For me, it's too strong. And I also don't bother coring. I will take off this little bottom kind of stemmy part. But I don't bother taking out the core. The core is good for me, so I'll just like cut it in half and just chop this baby up. And when the pieces start getting big, cut those in half again. So you can go half lengthways.
Julia says, I really need to sharpen my knife.
Yep, a sharp knife is a great thing to have. Let me show you my favorite knife sharpener. You got me off task. And I'm happy you did,
By the
because
way,
this thing is awesome. What?
Getting Dylan off task is one of my favorite things to do, so it's really easy to do it if that's your intention.
She's not lying. This is the Chef's Choice Model 15XV, and I love this thing. It's a little investment at first, but it sharpens your knives so fast and so well. And you only have to do it every few weeks, honestly. Not like where you gotta take the thing out and grind it every time before you're cooking, and then if you're making a big meal several times throughout. This thing is awesome. I've done a demo on it that's on the channel, like I did at the very beginning of this year when we were doing a free trial of the show. I had a show that we posted and did a whole demo with the Chef's Choice. Okay, so there's our fennel.
A few people came in late and they're wondering if you did the grand reveal of your new product.
We did the grand reveal. The Cosmic Dust is out. There it is. You can go buy it right now. We're not revealing any other products, so don't be afraid to check out your cart. But don't leave the show. I didn't make the fennel bits too big because I like to mix them in with my bites with other veggies too. So that's just me. But fennel is going in the tank. Don't miss it. Try it out. I think you'll really be surprised. Okay, butternut squash. Let's do that next. Maybe I'll get my serrated knife out. Okay, butternut squash is scary and elusive to people. You got this skinny part and this fat part, and we need to separate them because there's no real easy way to deal with it.
That one's got an interesting shape. It's like...
It's sort of bulby on both ends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what... Oh, our potatoes are coming to a boil, so let's just make sure they're good to go. I filled this baby right up.
Yeah, you did, to the tippy top.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that and I'll set a timer in a second. So, first things first is we need to disconnect the big and the little, you know what I mean? So let's just go right here where this starts getting bulbous, and you kind of have to bang your knife in, and boom. Now we've got two that are going to be a lot easier to deal with. I still would probably go ahead. I want a flat end on this one so I'm not rounding around this edge with my knife. And now you can just take a serrated knife. It doesn't have to be serrated. It's just a little easier to saw than to push. And you just cut the outside of this skin off. Okay, what do you think of that? Is anyone's mind blown? Or did you're all like, dude, this guy's like mansplaining us how to do a butternut squash?
No.
Like, we know what we're doing.
A few people are confused about what fennel tastes like.
Fennel tastes a little bit licorice-y, but when you roast it, it's just the subtle, perfect amount, okay? Yeah, you could say black licorice, I hate black licorice. I don't like black licorice. So for me, that is the wrong descriptor, but obviously it's a very similar thing going on. So don't get caught up on the black licorice if you're not a black licorice person, because I am not a black licorice person. Okay, the potatoes look
Marla
good.
says, my mind's always blown. Way easier to cut that way. Some people were asking about frozen butternut squash earlier.
Yes, okay, I'm glad you asked. Absolutely frozen, great. If you don't want to deal with this, you can roast frozen. Again, it's going to be softer and mushier. You can't kind of control the texture as well, I've found, but perfect to roast frozen butternut squash if that's what you want to do. So don't be afraid. Now let's take and cut the top off the other side too. So we've got both flat ends again. And now again, we're just going to cut right down, and we've got all of this hard shell off of here. Okay. So it's that simple to get that. That's just the outside. We got to get the seeds out of the middle too. But you know, I don't do a ton of butternut squash. Like if I'm just roasting weeknight veggies, I probably won't deal with a butternut squash. But this is a great way to get lots of filling, starchy calories in your roasted veggies too, so that you're not only relying on the potatoes for your starch. Of course, the carrots are starchy too, but not as much as a butternut squash. And if you miss some in your little edges where we're cutting, you can take off the white parts. Okay, now...
Mindy says, I just peel it with a veggie peeler.
That is hard work though. Like sometimes the skin is harder than others, and that's a little bit of work for me. Now this one didn't have much there. So usually the seeds are in like the bulby end, like that. And I'll just get my melon baller, where did I put?
And you know, I've roasted those little seeds like pumpkin seeds, and they're good.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot in there.
It's hardly worth it.
This is worth it for me.
I mean, if you're already opening it up and you've got them and you want to run the oven for just these little dinky seeds, fine. But a melon baller is nice because it's like a sharp spoon. This is a spoon with a little bit of a sharp edge on it. So you can grind all this out. When I did the pumpkin last night, I used this because Luca wanted to make it into a jack-o'-lantern, so we did. And we ran a whole candle in it last night. Okay, so that gets out all of your guts and seeds like so. And if you have a little more here, you kind of just run it through the corner. Bada bing, bada boom. A little flesh in there doesn't hurt anybody, so I'm not that careful.
Some people buy them already pre-chopped.
Oh, that's right. You can do that too. Often, just the way I was explaining the cauliflower is how you can get your butternut squash already chopped, processed in a fresh bag, not even frozen. And that works too. You can also get frozen sweet potato already chopped up that you could roast. So you got a lot of options for roasted veggies. Try to get some, starchy things so that it's really filling you up with plenty of calories, not just the non-starchy veggies like a bell pepper or cauliflower. There's not a lot of calories there, but there's a lot of texture and flavor. And there we go. There's the butternut. I'm not saving these seeds, Reebs. Forgive me.
Oh, darn it. So we're making a super simple Thanksgiving meal. I'm not sure if I don't even like to label it for Thanksgiving. Just like our Holiday Classics cookbook that's on sale right now, I wondered if it was a marketing error to call it a holiday book because the recipes are so simple that we should be eating them every day. But what do you guys make for Thanksgiving? Like, what is your go-to dish? Do you have a favorite?
I'd love to hear what everybody's go-to is. That'd be a fun thing to share. So let's keep chopping this butternut, and we're just gonna essentially wipe my hands off here. And we're just gonna go for some bite-sized pieces again. So those chunks look good. I like something like that. Is that too wide? Maybe we cut it like this. And we make them longer instead of so square. How about this? Okay, some nice chunks. They're gonna shrink a little. They're gonna be softer once they bake, so.
Belinda says, roasted parsnips don't get enough love.
Oh, they don't. I've done parsnips on our show, probably on our YouTube channel too. That would have been a great one. I simply didn't think of it while I was at the store, but roasted parsnips are awesome. Perfect for what we're doing right now.
Ooh, lots of people make a lentil loaf. Dolores makes our chestnut loaf. That's in the holiday guide.
That's a really good one.
Mashed potatoes and gravy. That's what we're making today. Kim makes homemade stuffing.
My mom loves to make us a stuffing too. My mom eats like us, so we get to eat all the healthy stuff by default, which is pretty awesome. Okay.
Green bean casserole.
There's a whole monster butternut squash, and let's get it in the tank. Some pieces bigger than others, whatever, we'll see what happens.
A lot came out of that.
They make plenty. And this is starchy like a potato. Winter squash is pretty starchy. Summer squash, not so much. Zucchini isn't gonna give you a lot of calories, but butternut squash will give you more. Okay, so there's, oh, we gotta do some Brussels sprouts, okay? At least a few. And for Brussels sprouts, it's really just 2 cuts. I'll take the little stemmy part off, and then I'll cut in half. I do not go through my Brussels sprouts to remove every perfect, so that they look like the most perfect little Brussels sprouts. I just don't go to that trouble. Once they're roasted, who's gonna know the difference? So I just do 2 quick cuts, and that's it. The end, half it, boom. The end, half it, boom. And then you gotta make sure you're pulling your little stemmy parts out so they don't get into your mix. Sometimes I usually try to throw them right off the cutting board like that.
We make stuffing muffins, stuffing in a muffin tin so everyone gets some crispy sides.
Oh, I see. Big one, I'm gonna quarter that one. Some of them are monsters. Yeah, and we've come up with some pretty good stuffing. I can't remember what we've done on the show and what we haven't, but I'm pretty sure we've done a few different types of stuffing on our membership too. Remember, you can go sign up for our membership at wellyourworld.com/cooking show. And there's also, if you browse around on our new website, which is gorgeous, I hope you'll check it out.
Yeah, have you seen it?
I could do a little demo of it later if we got the time and aren't boring everybody. But the new website is awesome, and you got a sweet membership index that you can see all of the recipes that are in our membership. Pretty much if we created the recipe, it's going to our membership first because we pretty much invent the recipes live on the cooking show. So keep that in mind. And I think I've got plenty of Brussels sprouts here. Okay, throw these in, all of the stray leaves, whatever. They might get a little crispy in the oven, but not gonna hurt anything. Okay, and then I'll throw my stems.
That's my goal, is a little crispy.
Yeah.
Just like those stuffing muffins.
Now, can you see in this? Yeah, you can.
Beautiful.
So this is where we need something to help the cosmic dust stick. We're gonna be using our brand new cosmic dust, and I just, it's a couple of tablespoons. I don't measure, I just go like that. I do a nice hard shake over everything. And then for your liquid, either you're gonna mix up some veggie stock. We're gonna need it for when I need to turn that stove down a little. It is popping out. There we go. Oh, they smell so good because I had the garlic and onion in there, so it's just...
The house is gonna smell amazing pretty
this
shortly
is
here.
The best. Okay, that's looking
What
nice.
is the flavor profile of the cosmic dust?
It's just lots of herbs and spices, and but it doesn't have like, here, let me taste it. It's not like a flavor profile. It's gnocchi, so it's got that tangy gnocchi flavor, but it's got basil, oregano, cumin. Does it have coriander? I forget now. What did I put on it? Yes, it has coriander, oregano, basil. I don't tell you every single thing in it because I don't want someone to steal my ideas. But if you have an allergy or a sensitivity to stuff, always just email us, ask us which things you need to avoid, and we'll tell you. But it's just the perfect all-purpose flavor. I just love it. And there's not a lot of big chunky hard things so that you can sprinkle it on your food after. It's also, I use it a lot on popcorn. So air popped popcorn, so good for that. You're gonna love it. And then I like, for our winter roasted veggies, I like to just use some balsamic as my liquid. So I will just throw in the cosmic dust, throw in some balsamic, and I gotta get my monster spoon.
Monster spoon.
But you could have used some veggie stock as your liquid. You could use citrus, just a couple of lemons squirted. If you like that flavor, go for that. That'll help get everything stuck together. And my monster spoon is right here.
Even a little, freshly squeezed orange.
Hey, if you want a little sweetness. And let's mix this up. So I just start tossing, get everything nice and coated. I want to throw in a little more of my balsamic. I like to have a little bit of liquid pool at the bottom. Because what you can do if you want is go back in and braise these a little. What's the word?
Baste?
Baste. You can baste with a little bit of the liquid that's left over. This is all sticking together really nicely. It looks gorgeous. It's not gonna have like a strong balsamic flavor in my opinion. And I also am often lazy and do not baste the veggies during the cooking process, if I'm being completely honest. But let's throw in a little bit more.
Kathy says, Dylan makes everything look so easy.
Well, that's what I'm here for, and I'm so happy to hear that. You can just kind of see how much, and I want a little bit more of the cosmic, okay? For a batch this big, I'm gonna use like a quarter of the bottle.
Chiquita says, I'm chopping on raw veggies dipped in balsamic and Well Your World Stardust and Galaxy Dust right now.
Everybody loves Stardust and Galaxy Dust, so I really think you're gonna like this one too. It just came out really awesome. And so get it and let me know what you think. Okay, we're gonna probably use a couple of sheets here. Let's see what happens, huh?
Yeah, the more the better because leftovers is our goal.
Yeah, and these keep so well in the fridge that why wouldn't you? These are some pretty big chunks, so I'm gonna do like 400, maybe I'll crank the temp a little, 425, and it's gonna take a good half an hour. We'll see. Like I said, the cauliflower might be a little softer than the butternut, or the carrots, but I don't care. We also thought about putting a can of chickpeas. You can put a can of garbanzo beans in here to give you even more starchiness. And there we have it. The parchment is just protecting the pan a little from the cleaning. I don't have to clean so hard if I have some parchment down, but it's not critical like for sticking or anything. You can just put it right on a baking sheet if you want. You could also use a glass Pyrex type of baking pan. Those will work really well. Hey, Reeves.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's throw them
Were
in.
you me or was I you?
That's hard to say.
I used some aquafaba to wet the veggies.
Yeah, then you could throw the can straight in. You don't even need to drain it. Okay,
Yeah,
let's start
true.
a timer and let's just do 25 and we'll test them.
How do you reheat your roasted veggies?
Microwave. Microwave's the easiest. I'll build my whole plate just like I'm gonna eat it and throw it in the microwave for this kind of meal. Some things, like if I made a chili or a soup or something, I reheat on the stove. It's actually faster because I have an induction cooktop. Okay, I'm gonna give this a little rinse. It's not that critical because there aren't like little holes and fine nooks and crannies.
It's critical
like
for Dylan though. He's trying to play it up.
I'm a rinse as you go type of guy. We gotta check our potatoes. They're beeping at me.
Or you could air fry.
Yes,
Yeah.
air fry, absolutely. We love the little Breville in the corner. We didn't tell you, but we're gonna make a little cookie recipe
Ooh, you are getting
here
fancy today.
So we're throwing in one more thing.
What brand of balsamic vinegar do you use?
I like the Costco one. You can't beat the price. Kirkland's Signature. Welcome in.
We eat roasted vegetables every day though, and we just switch it up to whatever kind of flavor we're trying to go for. And usually we go for like a Latin vibe.
Yeah, lately we've been on a meal that we made not long ago on our cooking show. Was one of our favorite lunch meals, which is refried beans, roasted vegetables, rice, our roasted salsa molcajete that we do in the Breville. That's in an episode not too long ago. These are they're pretty close. Let me stab.
For a minute there, I thought I was being boiled alive in the potato pot.
You thought that? How did you think that?
Because that's where the camera was.
I think that these are all pretty much done. So we can probably, okay.
Dory says leftover vegetables, roasted vegetables from the fridge without reheating are a great snack or side.
Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna do this on camera because it's gonna make a big mess. But what I'm essentially gonna do, actually I could do it this way.
Hey!
Oh, we got a super chat. Hi, Gina, the extra show. It is an extra show. Gina's one of our members too. Thank you very much for your generosity. So we could try this. Let's see if I can manage to spill water all over my computer and ruin everything, okay? It wouldn't put it past me.
What do you? Oh, you're pouring that big pot.
Yeah. But all I want to show you is put a bowl under your strainer and save some of this water because we're going to use it when we get to mixing up the potatoes.
Potato water is very valuable, okay?
Tell us more, Reeves. Hey,
Well,
that worked.
Well, you'll see.
Yeah, we're going to be using it. I'll just throw this here. Let's come back to these. They're hot. I'm not going to be ricing them while they're this hot. But we've got this whole tank of water now underneath that I can use. So we're going to set these aside and let's get started on our gravy.
Heck yeah.
We have some chopping to do, so give us some things to get off task about, and we'll talk about some other questions you might have. Who's worried about Thanksgiving this year? You know what I mean?
There are a few different things to be worried about during the holidays.
Who's worried about social pressure, dealing with other people, having to, you know, have a turkey on the table that bothers some people? What are you feeling? What do you guys? What's the anxiousness level?
Well,
of the
a few
group?
people were asking us about Halloween and how we deal with the candy because they still have candy in their house that's tempting them all the time.
Well, we could definitely talk about that because you do have a method. So fire it up, baby.
Fire up my method.
Tell them what you do. You let the kids trick or treat, and then you steal all their candy and replace it with fruit snacks.
Which is still
Why
candy.
did you make me tell the punchline?
Because I didn't know where we were actually going with it. Because if it's candy I can eat, I'm eating it, and that's a problem. If it's candy I can't eat, then that's easy.
And it makes me sick these days, so I don't really like to get into it. It's better to just not eat the candy. But the kids, at this age anyway, they don't know the difference. This was Luca's first time trick-or-treating. We'll show. I have a slideshow of Halloween pictures and stuff, so we can talk about it.
Sounds
Okay?
good.
Okay, gravy. I love making gravy. Let's just chop into a cold pan. Oh boy, blasphemous. A chef chopping into a cold pan, unbelievable. I don't bother preheating. I don't, you know, this induction stove's really fast, so I don't need to do it for time-wise. I don't think it makes a darn bit of difference with the flavor because we just end up sauteing with a little veggie stock anyway, so I just go right into the pan. We are making a mushroom gravy, and here's how I like to do it. This is our homemade mushroom gravy from scratch, not using the canister. Oh, do I have one right now? Because I think I just finished it. I might have to go shopping. But we have a canister mushroom gravy mix that you can buy where you just throw a little water in, maybe a handful of cashews, and boom, you've got gravy in literally minutes. So that is kind of, I invented it because I like eating this so often that I decided to make a fast, simple gravy. This is going to take a little more time doing it completely from scratch. These are monsters. I don't need all of it. But it's well worth it. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to saute up some carrots, celery, onion, and mushrooms. We're going to blend it, and then we're going to add even more. I like a chunky gravy, so if you don't, you can do all of it blended. But I like a little bit of chunky mushrooms and onions in my gravy, so we're going to do kind of 2 steps to the gravy, okay? So let's get chopping. What else is going on? What can you ask that we can get into talking about? These don't need to be chopped very carefully because, like I said, we're going to blend it. So just chop it small enough to where it's nice and soft and cooked through, but you don't need to try to be pretty about anything here.
Mm-hmm. Lisa says, I am first year as a whole food plant-based eater.
Welcome.
I go to my cousin's house. It's all fatty, butter, and meat heavy. Mm-hmm. Worried about what to make to bring that I can eat and share the roasted vegetables.
Yeah, roasted vegetables is a great one. Nobody's going to be like, oh, no meat. That would be weird.
The one thing that you can do that'll help is not call anything vegan or healthy. You just call it what it is. A couscous salad or whatever it may be. Just call it the food that it is.
Right. But our guide has a lot of things. One dish that I absolutely love is our roasted cauliflower. That is a whole head of cauliflower, and you just, based on this mix of tahini and flavor and lemon, and you just paint it on the whole cauliflower, and then you roast it in the oven, and it is just like crazy good.
Yeah.
And
easy because you don't have to chop it apart.
Right. So there are a lot of things that you could take that aren't going to make everybody crazy, okay, or draw a bunch of attention. But boy,
But the other thing about this way of eating is everything's actually a healthy whole food. So it's not like we're saying, here's our seitan turkey loaf. We're saying, here's our roasted vegetables, here's our mashed potatoes, here's our sweet potatoes, you know?
Yeah.
Everything's whole and real. It's not something trying to be something else.
If you try to recreate vegan stuff, everybody's gonna be on to you, and they're gonna just be like, you're gonna be embarrassed, frankly. Because like all the seitan and the turduckens, what's the freaking vegan thing called?
I don't even
remember anymore.
Beyond Burger, Impossible,
no, the one that's
Impossible Turkey. I don't know.
It's the known one that all the vegans, tofurkey. Thank you.
Oh, okay, tofurkey. I couldn't even think of it.
I couldn't think of it.
I didn't even have that vocab word in my arsenal.
You pull that out at Thanksgiving, you will trick no one. It is garbage. It tastes like garbage. It's absolutely unhealthy. You can eat it as a novelty that you like to do, you know, once a year or whatever. But like, I can't stand those things. They're just so gross. It's like, why didn't they try? If they could have just tried, it could at least not taste like absolute rubber. You know, I don't know if they ever were gonna make it healthy.
And I think there's so misconceptions to like this healthy way of eating and labeling things and this and that. Like one person thinks it's these mock meats that really do taste bad and aren't healthy for you, and another person thinks, oh, all you must eat is iceberg lettuce. Well, did you see how many potatoes that Dylan just put into the pan? No, we don't just eat iceberg lettuce. This is the healthy stuff that kept us alive for generations, okay? This is what everyone's favorite part of Thanksgiving is, the mashed potatoes and the gravy. Like, get out of town, you guys.
Yeah, this is what the peasants ate. This was the gladiator food, okay? Be proud of the simple eating you do. I sure am. And now I get to feel well because of it, you know? I'm 40 now. No, I'm not. I'm 39.
You're pushing 40 is what they say. Whatever that means.
Oh, mushrooms. But my point is, you know, people from my generation that I grew up with, they're going to start having a lot of problems, and we get to feel well. And, you know, we don't look back and say, oh, wish I'd have partied more in my, you know, come on. This is the life I want to live. And I'm here for the people who also want to. I love to be able to run around with my crazy, literally insane kids, and they really make me work. Okay, handful of mushrooms. Again, we're gonna saute this, so just chop them, whatever. Okay.
I can't believe you're showing your gravy from scratch. Do you want me to go get a bottle of your?
Were we gonna make some later? I don't know.
We can show it. But you know what? I've never felt more thankful in my life on Thanksgiving than when I started eating this way, because I could actually look at the bounty of the table and appreciate all the health that it's providing me and my family. And I feel like it's the true definition of Thanksgiving is being connected with the food in a way where you know that it's just nourishing every part of your body.
I love that. Being really connected with the food is so special. You know, growing up eating turkey, but we don't even know what a turkey actually is, or that it's like an animal that was running around happy. You know, like it really is a gift to be able to eat real food, to understand the food, to know how it works, to know what it's doing to our body. I know that you probably agree, because those are the type of people we attract to this channel.
Right, and this is the reason we like to go live with you guys and hang out with you, because we don't get to talk about this with a whole lot of people, but we can talk about it amongst ourselves and we all agree.
And we don't get to have you at our actual Thanksgiving table, so we're doing it now. And maybe we'll even relax and take a few bites, which I hate doing live because I feel like I'm just chomping in everyone's ear. But hey, I'm slamming the cutting board in your ear right now. Mushrooms are so awesome for practicing your chopping. You can get really fast at mushrooms and really comfortable with your knife by just starting slow and chopping mushrooms, because even a dull knife goes through a mushroom pretty good. Okay, look at that big tank. This is all going to shrink down, but we got a lot of veggies in here. I'm going to throw in. Let's do some garlic too. You can just use your cheater minced garlic, or you can do the garlic rock. real garlic, smash it with a rock. That's how I do it. This is just a rock that I found on a beach in the Pacific Northwest. Actually, I think my mom found that one.
Speaking of garlic rock, are you gonna?
Yeah, but you told me to get cooking, so now I'm
well,
just
not
straight
forever.
cooking. Okay,
if it's relevant, you gotta bring it up.
I'll show you some pictures that will make those of you laugh if you don't already know. Many of you already know.
Kathy says, yes, but when people's taste buds are deadened, our salt-free food just isn't that good to others.
Oh yeah, just make sure there's a salt shaker on the table. Even I don't like totally salt-free. So yeah, you're gonna run into that no matter what. Just make sure there's a salt shaker and tell them, hey guys, for health reasons, I didn't salt the dish, but it's no different. Just throw your salt on as you desire, and boom, done. So the salt thing, I find it's just so easy, and people are used to having a salt shaker that I'm not ashamed when I tell people, I won't be offended if you salt the food, because I haven't yet. So that's perfectly cool. Okay, there we go. You see how nice the skins fall right off when you smash your cloves with a nice flat, heavy garlic rock, okay?
Kimmy says, I have no one in my life that is plant-based. Well, Kimmy, you have us.
You have us.
And everyone in the chat with you as well.
There you go. Okay, this we can just roughly chop, because again...
Office Cooking said Dylan is a garlic rock star, and you'll find out in a second that I beg to disagree.
Yeah.
And when you see it, you'll know.
Okay, how about let's do some fresh herbs. Often when I do this gravy fast at home, I'll just use dried parsley, sage, rosemary, thyme, just like the song, okay? But we're doing it fancy, a little fancier for you, and showing you some fresh herbs. I don't get them out very often, so I need an excuse to do so. There's some parsley, that's going in. And now I have this darling little plate of what they call at the store. You can get all this in one container, this time of year anyway, and they call it poultry mix or something. And it's got sage, thyme, and rosemary, okay? So let's let's just chop up a little bit of that and throw it in our saute pan as well. Again, I'm throwing everything in at once. I'm not that careful. I'm not that chefy. Okay, some people are like, do the onion, don't do the garlic at first because it can burn. Well, I don't really cook things in a way where they can burn like in the traditional sense of it, because I'm adding liquid to the pan. So this is just me. I do things, I cut a lot of corners, and I think I've proven by now that it makes no bit of difference. Don't do too much. Rosemary is a little on the strong side, so don't totally overdo it on the rosemary. Let's get some sage in there. But like I said, the dry works great. Thyme, what do we have to talk about? Because pulling the thyme off these little stems with your nails, that can be a little bit of a pain. So maybe you want to use dry thyme, but you don't need that much of it.
Okay, some people are having trouble downloading the PDF. So when you click on the link, it's just a pop-up. Just put in your email and it sends right to you. No big deal.
Yeah, that should be working good. That's something.
I'll put the link in the chat again for you.
It should come to your email in the next, in 2 minutes from when you submit the little form. Okay, there's some fresh herbs, so we'll just roughly chop these up.
John says, does anybody really know what time it is?
A delicious song. Okay. Let's go to actually, let's do one thing. I want to make you some veggie stock because I'm going to use it to saute. So you can go to the store and you can buy cartons of veggie broth, and they're, $3 or more. Or you can get this, and they're usually salty. A lot of them have oil. If you find the no salt ones, you can, but they usually taste quite bad, in my opinion. And this holds 2 cups, so we'll throw a couple teaspoons.
I love that veggie stock. Oh,
this veggie stock has changed my life.
Do you guys want a hot beverage replacement? Sip on this, okay? It's so flavorful.
For sipping our veggie broth mix, maybe it'll focus, but probably not. It is amazing. There it is. You can get it in our store, wellyourworld.com. And it's a teaspoon for every cup of water. You can go heavier than that if you want, but I mimicked it to like the store-bought broths. We tasted and tested a lot of store-bought broth when we were making this.
And you know what? It was probably the first time I had ever sipped on the store-bought broths that I'd been using this whole time, and I was surprised.
Yeah, they don't taste good, especially the no salt ones. They just like, you can't just take the salt out. You need to amp up the rest of it. So here we go, a couple cups of veggie broth, which I like to use for sauteing. So we're gonna be doing that in a sec. And all you gotta do is give it a little, you can blend it in your blender if you really want it blended, but I'll just keep a spoon in here because it'll settle. This is a whole food product.
Are you
got
guys
veggie broth.
instantly?
$1.25 a quart instead of $3 to $4 a quart. And this thing holds 22 quarts worth, so you don't have to fill up your pantry with bottles of veggie broth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about our products. You don't need them for any of the things I'm doing today. In our show that we're gonna do later in the month, our Black Friday or Cyber Monday or whatever the heck we're gonna call it, we're gonna do all kinds of recipes using our products. It's meant to be a telethon. What's it called? What's a telethon?
Telethon.
We're not trying to get you to call in, but we are trying to get you to
We could take
watch
callers. That could be fun.
and buy our products. So that's what we're going to be doing on that show, and it'll be fun. It'll go for hours probably.
Carol says, I must get my order in for the veggie broth. I cook for one and have a hard time using a carton of broth.
Exactly. Now you can make as little as a tablespoon of veggie broth if you want to. Okay, let's go to the stove. Let's get this baby going.
Love that it's a dry broth mix so we don't have packaging and pay shipping for water.
Exactly. I do love our dry products for that very reason as well. And then I'll just keep a spoon in here, and because it will settle a little, I'll just give it a little stir before I pour. And if you're drinking it, you might, maybe you want, because there is some sediment, like I said, it's a whole food product. So all the veggies are, there's gonna be a little bit of powder kind of that settles at the bottom. So like when I sip it, I'll just I just won't sip the last sip and I'll let it all be at the bottom. Because there's still plenty of flavor once it settles. That's my veggie broth. Okay, and now we'll just add a little bit here. And let's just get it sauteing. Once our carrots and everything is on the soft side, we'll throw it in the blender.
Ooh, look at this. Gravy from scratch, guys. If you're just logging in, he's doing gravy from scratch. He's giving it away, his secret recipe.
This is our world famous simple gravy, and we're not using a bunch of processed garbage. We're not using fake, tapioca.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what they use.
I don't know.
But it's all kinds of these things that thicken it, these
and then
fake
you want to
thickeners
pour
stuff.
that, your agar gravy all over your tofurkey. Like, get out of town, okay? You saw what he put in there. It was only vegetables.
I chopped my whole onion. So normally we're gonna blend that, like I said, but I like a chunky gravy with some mushroom chunks and onion chunks, but I already put my whole onion in. So we'll just do a few more mushrooms, and I'll chop these a little on the smaller side so we don't have like big chunks of mushrooms. It's whatever your preference is. But I'll just take the mushroom. I cut it in half already. So what I'll usually do is I'll go and cut all my mushrooms in half, okay?
Everyone's
like
in
this.
for the infomercial.
Yeah, oh no, it's gonna be fun. And then I lay them all down with the cut side down, okay? This is how you get fast. And then get your knife ready, and for this type of thing, I'll cut them lengthwise like that so they're a little smaller, and then this way, okay? So then you can get really fast at chopping, but you can also start nice and slow and just chop, and you're just moving your knuckles. My knife is always touching my knuckles so that I can never cut my finger off, because my knuckles are always holding the knife, and it's my right hand in my case that's controlling the knife. My left hand just pushes it to the right. This is the opposite for most of you because I'm a lefty. And then I can get to chopping mushrooms very quickly. I don't even have to look at them because I know that my right hand's gonna stop my left hand from cutting it. Okay, any questions?
One of these days I'll work on my chopping skills, but I have a Dylan at home, so what I do is I prep everything, I wash everything, I get it out, And then when we're done, I put it away, and that's my contribution.
But it is pretty awesome when you're like, hey, guess what I want for dinner? This. And everything's laid out, and all I gotta do is da-da-da-da-da. And I can therapeutically do my chopping.
It's like you're just like walking by like, do-do-do-do-do, huh? Chop, and then keep walking. That would be you in a video game. You'd walk by like a mushroom and a cutting board, you're like, oh, chop, 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 and then continue.
That is me.
In a Well Your World version of The Sims.
Okay.
Lou says, love you guys. You are so real and down to earth. Been following Dylan since before Reeves. Thanks for all you do.
Oh, thank you. Happy to be here. I love being with everybody. It's the best.
Office Cooking asks, who cooks more in your house, Dylan or Reeves? It's Dylan about 100% and me about 0.
That's not true. It's not 0.
All right, 99 and 1.
We put celery in there, yeah. I think we got enough celery and onion.
Kathy says, the broth is wonderful. I use it for everything.
Yeah, we do too. I'm glad. Yeah, that's probably my favorite of our products now. It used to be our cheese sauce, which I also use several times a week. But now that broth is just awesome. So, and we'll have lots more products coming too. We might even have some new products during the Black Friday show. You never know. You never know.
Cindy says, thank you so much for showing how to chop. I have a hard time with chopping, so thanks for your help, Dylan.
Yeah, we can talk more about chopping anytime too. If you guys have requests, you send them in. We'll do them. I want to make, you know, I've been doing this for almost 10 years. We started on YouTube in 2017. I've been doing it so long that you forget sometimes what beginners need the most. Mm-hmm. That can happen, you know, even though my show and what we do is, you know, guided. Well, it's not just for beginners; it's for everybody. And but sometimes I can forget. Hey, I need to slow that down for some people that are new. So it's great. It's great to ask.
Yeah.
It's great to ask. Let's keep going back to the stove. You can still see there's plenty of liquid here, so I don't need to add any more veggie stock. I'm kind of almost steaming. It's like a steam saute because I have liquid. This is also why I don't use non-stick cookware. I do not like non-stick cookware. Of course, this is kind of technically non-stick because it's the enamel-coated Dutch oven, the cast iron. I love cast iron, but I don't like non-stick surfaces in my pots and pans, you know, like the other. They have the copper ones and the other enamels and stuff like that. They don't last. They don't last, and it's just annoying to use. I don't like. I've had this set of pots and pans. The cast iron Dutch ovens you have to replace once in a while because the coating does wear off. But I go a couple years at least, I think. But the stainless steel pan there that we're doing the gravy in, I've had that set since 2015. So what does that mean? It was when I got to this house, and it was just the Kirkland signature brand. So we're at over 9 years I've been using them, and you can't see a mark on them because I scrape them with metal, steel, wool type of to clean them, and I don't have to be careful when I clean them. It's the best. And going after this chefy stuff with the non-stick and trying to, I always get disappointed. I'm always disappointed because even on the non-stick, something's gonna stick, and I'm done trying to do fancy chefy things or to reproduce the standard American non-vegan version. I don't really like to do that. This I don't put in that category. Sure, we're making a gravy, so you're kind of reproducing it. No, it's a completely different whole food thing and we use very simple cooking methods. So we'd love to have you for our show because this is as simple as we are. We don't really get into the whole fancy trying to put my chef's hat on, okay? I'm linguine, not ratatouille. You know what I mean? Let's check our veggies.
It's a pan rant, says Gina.
It's a pan rant. Did I put my oven mitts back? Okay, let's see how these are looking.
A couple of people are asking if they'll be able to rewatch this. Yes, just use the same link and it'll be up forever.
Yeah, we'll leave it on
Watch it again
YouTube.
and again.
Okay, let's see how our butternut definitely needs more time on the butternut. The carrots are close. Some people like it al dente. My mom, one of them. I would give this another 5. We did 25. Call it 30 to 35 minutes. At 4, and I never turned it up. I left it at 400. Oh, and then if you want,
Ooh,
now's when.
you're gonna baste?
You could, I didn't have any liquid left because I didn't use a ton, but you could throw on a little more balsamic like this and just drizzle on a little more if you want to. I don't have a problem with them being a little on the dry side. I can hear my stove starting to dry out, so we need to go add some liquid and keep sauteing. You can hear that difference in the sound that the stove makes when it's running out of water in your pan. That's because I've done this for a while. You get to know everything. See, it's stuck a little, but that's okay. Not a bad amount. You can deglaze with a little more veggie stock. And we're just gonna go till things are tender. The mushrooms and onions are already there, but the celery and the carrot might need a little more time, and that's okay. It doesn't matter that one thing's more done than the other because it's all going in the blender anyway. Okay? I better set a timer though because I don't want to totally crush these babies.
If I don't like balsamic, can I use regular white vinegar?
Yeah, but you can also just use veggie stock or lemon juice. Apple cider vinegar is great. So it's just kind of our marinating the veggies. You could, if you really wanted to get fancy, when I chopped them up and had them all in the big bowl, you could stir them and let them sit and really soak in the juices before you go to the roaster. But I don't find that extra effort, you know, all that extra effort to give me like 1% more flavor. Who cares? I'll just do without the 1%. Save way more time and go fast. I'm all about fast, simple. You know, there's a return on your investment of time where, you know, fast, simple is like this, but then it starts to flatten out and now you can spend way more time, but you don't get really anything extra out of it. And that's right when that starts to change is right when I stop. That's when I'm cutting corners now, because if I'm getting less return for my time, it's not worth it. Because the flavor isn't going to be that much different. So that's where chefs pretty much would hate me. They would not like me. I have no chefy friends, okay? So that's just how it goes.
It would be funny, like, some of those YouTube videos where they put all these like opposite type people together and they put you in a room with a bunch of chefs. Like, don't you just love it when you cut corners by doing XYZ thing? And they're all appalled. My cooking techniques are like 5% of what a chef would teach you. And that, I think, that's what's special about us, in my opinion, because we attract people that aren't here because they want to try to recreate non-vegan things or get the most amount of flavor. Like the chef at, I love the guy, great, you know, at True North, Chef Ramsay's Bravo, he is all about extracting every molecule of flavor possible from the food. And he goes to great lengths to accomplish this. And I'm just like, man, I'm not doing any of that. And hey, everybody's a little, I'm not talking smack by any means. Like I said, that buffet at the True North Health Center is like, I could just live there. It's so awesome. But when you're doing it for yourself, you got to be fast and efficient, and you got to start to compromise a little. And what is just good enough to get me to stick to it? You didn't come here because you wanted to become the world's greatest chef or to study from Dylan of the Well Your World Chef School. You came because you wanted a fast, easy way to get your health. You want your health. The health is what brought you here. And it so happens that in order to be healthy, you've got to eat the right food. And if you're going to eat the right food, you might as well prepare it in the quickest way possible to where it tastes great and you can get it down. But, you know, flying in the clouds and having a mouth-gasm with every bite, no, I've got my kids to play with and my other things that can give me all the feels that I want. I don't need to get it from the food. I just want to eat, feel well, feel healthy, and get on with it. So this isn't like a food passion channel. I can hear the stove is now pretty well done. I think everything's soft enough. Does that message resonate with people? Are you like me, or are you really feel like you're always chasing after the maximum amount of flavor and you're willing to like make everything from scratch? I mean, I think that sometimes there's a joy in chasing after the minimum amount of flavor so that when you taste a roasted mushroom with nothing on it, it tastes as delicious as anything else decadent for anybody else. You get what I'm saying?
I might have. Are you arguing for my point or against?
I'm arguing for your point.
Yeah, I think I get what you're saying.
I'm saying that if you can adjust your taste buds, then
Oh,
you don't actually
yeah.
have to sacrifice on the,
That
like,
is-
I'm gonna eat this meal and I'm gonna have some enjoyment out of it.
That is an important point because if you're brand new to this way of eating, the things that I'm saying simply don't make sense to you, especially if you're not a willing participant of this way of eating. I'm gonna get these mushrooms going also because these are my chunky mushrooms for my gravy. So let's get them back to sauteing.
Always look for simple recipes. Nope, I like shortcuts. I prefer simple. I'm with you.
But coming into this and when you're not used to the no salt can be really hard, and you don't realize that you are going to adjust. It is going to taste great, and you're going to get to where I am with what I'm explaining. But at first,
Were you gonna put a spud in?
oh yeah, at first you might not even like the flavor of anything, and that's because you're coming off of a way of eating that is just completely different. But you do start to love it, and then when you eat the other stuff from before, it makes you feel like it was then too, but you didn't notice. And you get to have your health back and feel great.
Okay, someone said, well, I came for the plant rants and I stayed for the relationship goals.
Ours? You and me, maybe? She likes to handshake, okay? Yeah. And other things, but you know.
Oh.
Okay, what I like to thicken up my gravy with is some potato. We made all those potatoes. Why don't we throw a couple of pieces of potato in, and that is gonna thicken this up and give it creaminess. Guess what? It's the same as what I put in my store, the one we sell in our store. Our Well Your World gravy mix, it has potato flakes in it that give it the creaminess when you blend it up. So that is my little secret trick there. I am probably gonna need some more veggie broth, so let's make a touch more. This doesn't need to be very high. All we're doing on the stove now is softening up those mushrooms because they're gonna be our little chunky bits in the gravy.
Marina says, I'm an old lady and I've been cooking for a bazillion years. At this time of my life, I want fast and easy.
Beautiful, I love that. Throw in a couple teaspoons again.
Happy bazillionth birthday to you, Marina.
Now, with me just throwing it in the blender, I could have just thrown the powder and some liquid right in the blender. I didn't need to pre-do this, but I've got this for the rest of our cooking we're gonna do or whatever. And I also didn't really know exactly how much I'd need. You just need enough liquid to get this to the thickness you want your gravy, okay? Did I write anything down that I'm forgetting, by the way? Got all that. Oh, I like to throw in a little bit of nutritional yeast now. So
Ooh.
we didn't have that in the saute pan, so I'll throw in a tablespoon or two of nooch, which you could do right in the stove too.
Okay, Dill, before we blend that, Rosemary says, honestly, watching you make this gravy makes me want to buy the gravy mix.
Okay, I think our veggies.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, Rosemary. That's why
nothing
we
wrong with
invented it. We invented it for you.
That's, yeah, I actually invented it for me. It was more selfish than that. Because I wanted to save time doing a thing that I was doing all the time. And so, yeah, it's a good point. Okay, okay, veggie stock as needed, here we go. And this is gonna take about 2 seconds. Okay, that just means I need some more liquid.
Anita's asking, what is nutritional yeast?
It's just a form of inactive dry yeast that has a tangy flavor. Gives some people reminiscent cheesy kind of flavor. For me, it doesn't. I don't like cheese. Why would I want anything to taste like cheese? But it's just a nice flavor. It's definitely not a required ingredient, but it gives it sort of it's a savory umami.
A little nutty.
For the chefs out there, it's umami, okay? Just like mushrooms are, right? Okay, don't need the plunger anymore. And now it's just add as much liquid as you want to make your gravy gravy. Need more. Okay, And now it's really just, let's check our mushrooms before we dump it in. Here it is. I did not crank the heat very much. That was my mistake. So we'll just let this, we got some of our burnt bits off. That's why it's kind of brown. But it won't taste burnt because I didn't like burn it. I just sort of stuck it to the stainless steel, which is not as extreme of burny. And then boom, throw in our gravy. Look at this delicious brown gravy. Oh, another thing I want to tell you is that you can blend this with cashews too. If you want the traditional rich flavor of gravy, that's going to be too high now because this is pretty thick and it's going to start splattering. But if you want, and what I do when I make our homemade gravy from the container is I will blend up a handful of cashews in the blender too. So if you want a little bit more creaminess or richness, essentially just fat, you're making it more calorie dense, so you're gonna make it taste better in your mouth. That's how the mouth works. The taste buds like the things that are the richest possible food in your environment is also gonna taste the best to you, and because you're trained to keep yourself from starving to death. So that's how that goes. And now you've got a real legit homemade gravy that doesn't have any processed cornstarches and other arrowroot powder or any of those things, okay? Real food. Let's have a taste. Oh Lord, that's good. You can taste the mirepoix, the carrot, celery, onion.
Ooh, you are a chef.
You are a chef. Get out of town. But man, it tastes like real food. And it could use that handful of cashews if you like a rich one. Sometimes, I just forgot, I was gonna throw them in. But this is good. And
that gravy looks so rich and delicious.
Don't let it, it's gonna, what was the splatter? It's gonna splatter.
Oh. Kim says, I always use cornstarch to thicken stuff. What works better, potato flakes?
Or just use a whole potato. We've also done it with cooked cauliflower, a can of beans, a handful of cashews. Any of those things will thicken things. I mean, cornstarch isn't like the worst offender in the world, especially when you're only using a little bit. But I don't like to keep it in stock. I don't like to bother with another pantry item that I gotta deal with when I can just, and it's a little chefier too. I just like whole food. When it's easy, I'm gonna choose a whole food ingredient. And it's definitely easy. Cooked potato flakes. Most of the potato flakes you find in the store though have some preservatives in them. Ours do not, what we put in our products. That's just kind of the way it goes. Are we ready to make some potato? All we gotta do now is make some potatoes. I need to take these out. Let's get these veggies out. We could do a little slideshow too.
Yeah.
We got some photos to show you. We haven't given you a kid update in a while.
A little update.
Can I just put one of them over there? We'll put one here and one on the stove. I have a habit of putting these away every time I take them out.
Well, it's not a bad habit to have.
Oh, look at these beautiful roasted veggies. Gorgeous.
Oh, yum. Simple, easy, and delicious. Oh, but you forgot if you're going to make cookies.
Oh yeah, we can make cookies if you want. I got nowhere to go. So we have all this stuff, so we can make cookies.
JT says, I buy several cookbooks and don't make any recipes because they're too complicated or have too many ingredients. I need simple.
That's why our cookbooks are special. Our cookbooks are all the Well Your World way. Simple pantry items, often things you're already gonna have in stock, save things like, oh, I roasted fennel today. I don't usually buy fennel except when I'm roasting veggies. But little things like that, but not things that you're like, I can't find this in my store. I mean, there might be an exception. Some stores, like ours, there's a whole aisle dedicated to dried chili pods because we're in Arizona. Whereas if you're in the Northeast, I don't know, that you might not find dried chili pods as easy, but we don't use that for very many things. Okay, let's make our mashed potatoes. It is time.
Terry says, I love all your videos. It makes me feel in control and able to stay the course.
I love that. That's the greatest compliment because that's my whole goal. And I do want you to feel like this is actually doable. You have the power to do this. Eating healthy food, that's easy, but now can we make it easy to actually prepare? Chewing healthy food, okay, let's just keep this out, but you have to actually do it every day. And that's where I feel like it just doesn't get enough attention. Where's my ricer? Here it is.
It's hiding.
We are going to make these mashed potatoes with a potato ricer. In the guide here, I put an Instant Pot version. You could just mash use your potato masher right in your Instant Pot. I love the potato ricer. It is a little bit, you know, more methodical because you can't just go at them and just mash to your heart's content. You're actually having to load. So you take a couple of potatoes, throw it in here, and then you're gonna squeeze them out like that, okay? And they come out like the smoothest potato you've ever seen. Are you laughing at me?
People are noticing that blender there in the distance. And I think it's not like you.
Oh my gosh, back to you, Reeves. You gotta clean that blend. Thank you very much. You know, I've got your backs all the time, and someone had my back today. That means a lot. No one likes a crusty, dirty blender. You gotta rinse those things out immediately. That would have upset me after the show.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you caught it.
A crusty blender is a disgusting life.
It's a disgusting life.
Outstanding video. I love short and sweet recipes, healthy and delicious. Most people just don't understand how easy it is to cook.
Yes, I think that people think either you gotta cook like Betty Crocker with canned cream of mushroom soup, or you have to be a chef, and that is of course not true. You can make scratch cooking very, very simple.
Okay, they're calling you out a little bit on the chefiness of your
the ricer.
Potato ricer.
It's not chefy at all. These are over the counter simple products. Okay, I just love a smooth potato, and it's not like it's that much different work because you still got to go through, and now you're mashing the whole pot, but there's like only one potato that snuck through the cracks. That I'm trying to get the potato over here, and then these ones over here, they're good and mashed. So do I keep going because I don't want to get them all gummy? So the ricer, boom, one squeeze through, and you're done. Everybody's laughing at me. I feel it through the airwaves. But I'm telling you right now,
over the counter?
it's just, these are just regular old, you don't
need a prescription?
You don't need a prescription for these chef tools. You don't have to go to chefsonly.com. No, it's not that.
Someone said it avoids lumps. Perfection.
That's right. With minimal effort, you know. Yeah, this is the only thing I use this tool for. I like to try to have tools that are used for many things, but you know, there's an exception when it's something as simple as this.
Wow, so defensive. It depends on how you like your mashed potatoes, says Julia. Some like the little clumps.
Yes,
I tried
absolutely.
a ricer for the first time last year.
I can use my hand now that I've let these cool. Normally I'm doing it straight out of the pot, so I use a spoon, but you can get it pretty fast.
I use an electric mixer to whip potatoes. That's how I always used to do it.
Yeah, me too, until all of a sudden they're gummy and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And what makes potatoes gummy? Is it just mixing too much? Is it something about temperature? I don't know what it is. I'm not a chef. But it's rare that it ever happens. I just use the ricer to push down, because I'm getting quite a mound in here, and then I'll just knock it down. Okay, what do you think? It doesn't sound like I've sold anybody on the ricer.
No, people are like, they're either 100% pro ricer or they're anti-ricer. So there's no like fair weather ricers, okay? Over the counter. Team ricer. Rice baby, ricer.
Wow, we do have some ricers. Okay.
Your forearms and hands.
See, the people that didn't say anything are the ones that already liked the ricer and didn't think to have any smack to talk about it.
Right,
exactly.
We're only hearing from just watching and approval. And
yeah, they're like, what else would he do? Welcome. You get me. Now, this is a tool you definitely want to wash right after because it gets dirty. Okay, boom. You think you could have mashed those potatoes faster? Maybe. I don't know. Back to you, Reebs.
Okay. Why is it called a ricer? Is it used to cream rice? Seriously.
It's a great question. I've wondered it myself. And I do not know. Okay.
John says use the garlic rock to smash the potatoes. It's a garlic rock, not a potato rock.
Not a potato rock.
I like my potatoes chunky, so I use a masher.
Fair enough.
And I'm lazy, so I use a masher.
And some people like to do gold potatoes with the skins still on because the skins are pretty dainty on a gold potato. Yeah, whatever you like. And for some people, they have absolutely no idea because they've never eaten real food, and you're welcome here too. And that is one of the tricky things for those eaters is figuring out what do I actually like because I have almost no experience eating real food. Reeves, that's how you started.
Yeah.
She came from standard American
there was
all
so
day
much
long.
I didn't even know what the name or definitions were of things.
So we've got our potatoes that we've smashed, and they do have some garlic and onion. A lot of the garlic and onion also in this potato water.
I'm Team Ricer. I don't have one, but now I want one.
Yeah, you do. Wait till you try them. I'm going to use a little bit of this potato water that's got all that garlic and onion in it. You can also just add more garlic and onion powder if you want. I'll just do that so you can see that I'm not lying to you. You know, it's okay that they're like raw. It's going to be great. Just don't, you know, put a ton in, and you'll have lots of garlicky and oniony flavor. I like a little bit of nutritional yeast, totally optional. You know, throw in a tablespoon or two, taste it with, taste it without, whatever. And then soy milk. The only soy milk I drink is got one ingredient, soybeans and water. This is the Trader Joe's version, which is pretty darn cheap. You can get the Eden, whatever. That one is a little on the pricier side. If you don't have a Trader Joe's nearby, then you got to get it. But I do not like the soy milks or the plant milks that have the sweetening or the vanilla-ing. Those are not for me. And you're going to add a good fair amount. You want to get your potatoes nice and creamy. And check it out up close here. We're just going to, now you barely have to mix because we've riced the potatoes and they're nice and soft, but we need to get them nice and creamy. And there's no measuring to this step. Everybody is going to be a little bit different, so you can't give a measurement. You got to just add as much as you like, mix it in, and then when you refrigerate these, they tend to get hard again, and you can bring them back to life with some heat and some soy milk. So I'll just like microwave them, mash in some soy milk again, and the kids will eat potatoes for a week that are left over. They love it. When they're hot, it deceives you because they're creamier looking when they're hot than they actually taste. So you might need a little more of the soy milk. Any plant milk you like, though.
Cassandra said that her mom was making fun of her for having a bunch of kitchen gadgets on her birthday and Christmas list. But she's setting herself up for success.
Heck yeah, I love that. There you have it. Simple mashed potatoes. You could add some chopped chives. We love in our Colcannon mashed potatoes, that is not necessarily a Thanksgiving-y dish, but we steamed cabbage. Chopped steamed cabbage in the mashed potatoes was, oh no, kale. It was kale and green onions. What is in our cold can potatoes? I forget. But all that stuff in the potatoes, I just absolutely love it. So if you had chives or even just scallions and you wanted to chop those in, it adds a lovely little color too. And boom, you've got potatoes. Maybe I should have a taste.
Right off the monster spoon.
I don't know how I don't eat potatoes at every mashed potatoes at every meal.
Yeah, at least once a day.
Excuse me, I have to wipe my face because I have a beard now and everything is getting caught in it. I'll explain why I have a beard. Okay, before we plate, are we gonna do a little slideshow? And yeah, we can stay late and make cookies if you want. What time is it? It's only been an hour and a half, whatever.
If you're gonna make me wait to taste potatoes, look at some pictures, that's okay. Because no one else here in the chat can taste it either, so.
We'll plate this up. You're gonna wanna see what it looks like when it's all said and done. Okay, so a little promo, folks. Don't forget to get your document here. There it is. There's the Cosmic Dust for sale now. We used it in our roasted veggies, and it is just so good. I can't wait to hear your feedback and what you think of it. We've got a cookbook sale going.
Can you take the thing off the corner?
Oh, yes, I sure can. Thank you. We've got a sale going on our holiday cookbook, $10 off right now. And if you buy the hard copy version for the $19.99, it's a paperback, you get the digital too. As soon as you check out, you get the digital in your inbox, so you don't have to wait for it to come in the mail, but you will get the paper copy in the mail, okay? We've got our show. This is just more about the holiday cookbook. I've covered that. We've got our next show next week of our membership show. I hope you've enjoyed today enough that you'll join us. Sign up for the cooking show at wellyourworld.com/cooking show. And you get a lot of perks. You get the 2 live shows every month. You get a 10% off discount on all of our products, including the Cosmic Dust, literally every product. Members get 10% off. Even when we're running a bundle deal or a sale like on the cookbook, you still get another 10% off of the cookbook on top of whatever sales are going. Yes, we stack those sales. And then you've got all the replay access, and you've got our wonderful community in the chat box that you're getting to experience now. It's 15 bucks a month, and you can cancel anytime. We don't make canceling hard like all of the internet monsters these days. You know what I mean? Okay, let's show you some pictures. So, you want to know what Reeves was talking about? Well, first of all, look at this little guy. He turned 1 this month. Can you believe it? Oh, boy. He turned 1 last month.
Yeah, it's November now.
This is Otis. For those of you who don't know, our little 1-year-old. We have a 2-year-old too. You'll be seeing him. Here is why I grew the beard early. Normally I have a beard only for No Shave November at Rebecca's request. But I did Bob Ross. We were in costume on the show, first time in a few years, last week or 2 weeks, whatever it was now. And I was Bob Ross. I hope you like the costume. Reeves did it all.
You got a lot of compliments on that. You like pulled it off so well.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't do much, just put it on.
Marla said cutie patootie in the chat. I don't know if she's talking about Otis or you dressed as Bob Ross.
Hey, I appreciate the compliment, and I'll let Otis know too, just in case. Okay, here's Rebecca's costume. Why we were talking about it earlier. Who wore it better? You guys get it? Do you get it? Okay, I hope you get it. She dressed as a garlic rock.
I'm garlic rock.
She's garlic rock.
Do you see the garlic?
How many bulbs of garlic did you buy?
At least 17.
17. And she has an elephant garlic around her neck. It's just really something. Yeah, I thought it was Slash too. I think she was going for that for the rock side of it.
Yeah. I had to embody something. But yep.
Stunning performance.
Garlic rock. Nobody got it for a while. It wasn't as obvious as yours the moment you showed up on screen.
All right, let's do some more.
But please put it back up, and can we please vote for who wore it better?
Oh, you wanna? Who do you think's gonna win? That's a cheat vote.
Gina
right
said he even talked like Bob Ross.
I did try to do.
Yeah, Marina, no vampires attacking me either. It is multifunctional.
And the little hand thing he does. Hey
He
everybody.
did that.
Hey everybody, welcome in.
You forgot to do the.
Inside of. Oh, I did forget to do that when he clanks the brush to clean the brush. Who remembers Bob Ross's little squirrel? Remember Bob Ross had a squirrel that would come on the show from time to time, or at least pictures of the squirrel? Oh my God, that would kill me. I've seen a lot of Bob Ross. Okay, some family photos. Look at these little rascals. Oh, this is Halloween. They weren't allowed to wear costumes to school, but they were allowed to wear your Halloween pajamas. So there's Luca in his Halloween pajamas doing his you-know-what eating grin. And when you say smile, Luca, he does a completely fake smile, which is
unnatural.
It is entertaining. But what else we got? Okay, here are the boys for actual Halloween costumes, if you want to see, for those interested. This is Otis. He is our circus strongman. Look at this guy. He lifted that thing right up over his head.
1,000 pounds it was.
1,000 pounds. Oh, where it says 1,000 got not in the photo. Great job there, Otis. What a cute guy. Here's Luca. He wanted to be Thomas the Tank Engine Train, and Mom said yes. So what did she do all October? She built him a cardboard tank engine train. And even complete with getting the face printed at the store and then putting it on there. Amazing work, Reeves. You are a graphic designer in your heart. Look at this, the side profile of the train box.
And he wore it proudly.
Oh my God, he was so
He did a
proud.
great job with it.
He's got his little conductor's bandana on. He just loved it. And you know, it wasn't easy to get him. He's quite a shy boy. When he warms up, he's not. But he's pretty shy at first, so we had to really rehearse trick or treat. And
we had to do a lot of role playing.
he would get it at home just fine. But then when we went to like one car trunk or treat with the school, we could not get him to say it to anyone. So we're like, well, it's Halloween. I wonder if he'll do it. And all of a sudden he said it at every house, trick or treat. It was the cutest thing. And that's my story. I'm obsessed with my kids. Can you tell? What else we got going on here? Oh, we did a little camping trip, just impromptu camping trip this past weekend. We have a little teardrop trailer, which I absolutely love. The teardrop trailer. I was always, whoops. Uh-oh, what did I just hit a whole bunch of buttons by accident.
You just smashed the buttons.
That one's good. I think we're okay. What was I talking about? Oh, we were always like tent campers, but then with the kids and you don't have a place to put them that's safe. So last year we got a teardrop trailer that we'll take to the campsite, and now it's a lot easier with little kids. So that is what you see here. This is our little setup. It's got this red light underneath too, so you're not like shining. It looks way brighter in a photo than it actually is, but the red light's nice for illuminating when you're like getting in and out of it. We had the little propane fire going. We were only gone for one night, so I didn't like take firewood and do a whole fire, so we just took the little Costco propane little fire pit, and there's Luca's over there by the lantern coloring. He loves coloring, so we had the little table set up and he was coloring, and then Otis is over by Mom. Well, that was really fun. Here's Luca. He's moved over from coloring, now he's making ziti.
He's moved on from coloring.
He's helping me stir. So the reason I love these little campers is because they have a whole kitchen off the back. For where we are, I want to be outside as much as possible. So I don't want to be cooped up inside cooking. I agree that as I get older and older, I'll probably want more and more amenities camping. But right now, I wanted to still be outside in the wilderness, and I love the teardrop with the trailer on the back because you get all those vibes. And camping, by the way, if you don't camp and you eat like us, you should really consider it, because if you love the wilderness and you eat healthy, this is the easiest place to do those things and you don't need a trailer to do it. Like, all I had was a little propane stove for years, and I would make. There's nothing much to do. We don't really like do a bunch of hiking with the babies. So you cook. And so we'll take what we're gonna cook, and I'll do my chopping. I have a special cutting board and a knife just stays in the trailer. And I love cooking, just like you saw what we're doing here, making ziti from scratch, doing it stovetop on the propane burner. And there it is, all dished up. There's actually a microwave on it, but it only works if you're plugged in, so we never use the microwave. And then there's a little cooler. There's a little 12-volt cooler fridge there underneath of that cutting board. So it's handy. It's got some amenities without being totally over-the-top glamping, you know? So we had ziti that night, and that was awesome.
Delicious.
Here's the next morning, my favorite meal to make camping, and we're going up to Wisconsin this weekend, where we're going to be doing some cabin camping on an off-grid cabin, and I'll be making these there too. So all I do is a big foil pack, throw in potatoes. I use the Cosmic Dust. This was just 2 days ago, this past weekend. And add some veggie broth, close it up, and I threw it right on the propane fire. Boom. You flip it once, it maybe takes whatever, 30, 45 minutes, I don't know, I don't pay much attention to the time. And then open it up, cut it open, you got cooked potatoes. I threw on some avocado, and I brought the same salsa that we made on the show. And boom, you got a really awesome meal. Those are my fire gloves to handle that thing on the fire, and that works really well. So it's a blast. I just love camping, and these kids are so dang cute. Otis just copies his brother at everything.
Literally everything.
It's just adorable. He has his little chair there. He looks to Luca for a lot, but it's funny though, because Luca's like way more conservative than he is, and Otis will just jump right off the top stair. Whatever happens, happens. Luca is like, even when he was little, you didn't have to worry about Luca falling down the stairs. There's no way he's going near him. And so it's just kind of funny that Otis looks up to Luca when Otis is like way crazier. What else we got? Oh, you guys went for a walk when I was packing the trailer back up. It's easier to just send everybody on a walk, and then I put everything away. It was cold. It was like 30, 35 degrees, and we just went less than 2 hours from here to Prescott, Arizona, and it was icy cold. Look at that fake smile again from Luca. It was really fun. They love that little wagon too. They can bundle up and go all over.
It's a perfect little wagon for them. I love pushing them around.
There's the forest, nice pine trees. It's kind of that sparse sort of pine tree forest, skinny pine trees. It's beautiful. It's not like the Pacific Northwest with the big trees. This is kind of the Northern Arizona version. Oh, we did some chalk on the concrete bench. That was great to sit on.
You gotta keep them entertained.
Oh, here's a little pose over at one of the Sunset Point rest area, which is kind of a scenic viewpoint driving back to Phoenix from the north. So we stopped there for a quick photo. Oh, the boys are swimming. They've done like a dozen swim lessons each, so they're getting pretty good at, you know, you could throw them overboard and they're gonna survive. And so it's pretty funny. This was the first time they wore wetsuits because it's getting chilly out and the water's getting colder. And that is way too big of a wetsuit on little Otis there. But Lucas fit great.
I think it's a good size.
Really? Look at this thing. He's like walking around in a tie. He looks like the little Michelin man. So.
And look at that person behind Luca who's been at the house for a long time.
Yeah, he's sat in that chair a long while. Everything is just bones. And there's Luca at the pool. Oh, this was his first time wearing goggles too, so that was a whole new novelty for him. It was pretty good times. And oh, a bathtub photo. Boy, I don't even know what's next. We got a bathtub mohawk photo. Here's the boys having a good time in the tub. That's not
That was after the camping trip, and I was just like, I gotta hose these kids off.
They're not in their tub. They're in the parents' tub. But hey, we'll let it fly. And then a random stop at a garage sale yielded a copy. Like John McDougall always said in his videos, just so you can find my books at a garage sale or a used store.
He said that?
He said that a lot in his videos. And we found an autographed copy of John McDougall's The McDougall Program for Maximum Weight Loss, autographed, dated 1994 on his autograph. That was pretty neat to find. A 30-year-old cookbook. Here we are today. Boy, if I could have found that information 30 years ago, well, I'd have only been a 9-year-old, and it would have been pretty weird for most people.
Right? I can't believe I found an autographed copy. I'd never been faster to whip out a $1 bill.
Was it a buck?
Yeah.
Was it a buck?
Yeah.
Let's eat some veggies and gravy and potatoes, shall we? How are these? If they're still fluffy, then you're good. If they seem a little hard, then add a little soy milk and stir it in. These are still nice and fluffy. And that's that. Let's plate it. Are we sharing a plate?
Sure. Linda says, oh, whoever's sitting at your table has been there quite a while. You better check on him.
The kids loved the decorations this year. It was pretty fun.
Everybody's worried about the cookies.
I mean, I didn't make them yet, so I'm not going to burn them.
But I think they're worried you're not going to make them.
Oh, well, I'll make them if you want. I'm going to have a bite to eat, though. Like, this isn't a paid show. I don't have to entertain you for every single little minute of the show like I do for my paid shows.
Yeah, it does make me feel a little more relaxed. Like, hey, you guys.
So we did have one compliment on this AI-generated image that Reeves made for the thumbnail, because obviously when we posted the show, we didn't have the food right in front of us. But we had a compliment on that, how the veggies were. So let's try to recreate the AI, shall we? Here are our veggies. Let's get a spatula.
I like that plan. Pretty funny.
Okay, so I'm just gonna scrape these off. They shouldn't stick. Yeah, they should come right off the parchment pretty nicely. I had a little bit stick to my pan because I didn't use a big enough piece of parchment, but it's better than having to clean and scrape and scrub the entire pan.
The guy at the table took maximum weight loss a bit too far. I was waiting for someone to say it. Funny.
Okay, we're dressing a plate. Let's do this.
Oh, looking nice.
How am I doing with the image?
Oh, it's wonderful.
There we go. And then do we need a little volcano for our gravy?
I always put a little dip in my...
That's how I grew up.
That's how I grew up too.
That's how the old parents taught me to do it.
Yeah. Love the pictures. Thanks for showing them to us.
Yeah, I hope you liked a little bit of a family update. It's been a while.
Yeah,
Okay.
can you believe, I can't even, I don't know, I blinked and Otis turned 1.
Yeah.
I feel like I just took him home from the hospital.
It was fast. And gravy. And now, if I was doing this plate the way I'm gonna eat it, you barely can see what's underneath the gravy. But this...
Right, you would only see the top gravy layer.
Okay, now, some things I didn't talk about for you that like to eat salt. Nothing wrong with a little salt if your health allows for it. If you're trying to reverse some trouble, then maybe you're completely avoiding salt, or for other reasons, like the fact that salt is much more addicting than eating food without it. But this is when, a la John McDougall, sprinkle the salt on your plate now. You could have made the gravy with like a little bit of miso paste in the blender if you wanted to add a little bit of saltiness, or a little soy sauce maybe. Those are the 2 types of salts we like to put in the gravy from time to time, especially if we're entertaining others and we do want the food to be saltier. You could have salted your potatoes, but I'd prefer to just salt it. And I have a little ramekin like this with just whatever. I often recommend iodized salt because we don't get a lot of iodine if you don't eat kelp. But you can just sprinkle a little bit of salt by hand. I'm a proponent of bringing back the salt shaker instead of having the food so salty. See, growing up, when the salt shaker was on the table, the food you're eating was already just totally full of salt. You don't need a salt shaker in that case. But if you're eating food like us, and then a salt shaker is great. Have it at the table, add a little bit of salt to the food, boom, you're set. Reeves, come on over, let's taste this beast.
Okay.
And remember, the recipes are right there. Go to that link and you can get our recipes from today's show.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And many other recipes.
I'm gonna grab my own fork.
Yeah, good idea. Sorry about that. Let's taste this squash and potato.
I'm going for a piece of cauliflower, potato, and gravy.
The butternut squash was cooked just right. It was not mush. It was not hard. I just love. Same with the carrot. I like a little, not crunched. That's not the right word, but just the next level of softness after crunch.
It's so good. I'm so glad that you started this meal at the beginning of November.
You know, now we can eat it all month long. The Brussels sprouts are perfect. So that was like 35 minutes at 400 for the veggies.
The carrots really are sweet.
The potatoes are perfect. The gravy is delightful.
So delicious. I eat that every day.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we really should. I need a Brussels sprout.
This is awesome. So good. I'll move some items because apparently we're making cookies.
So delicious and simple. I have to try every veggie.
The cookies are gonna have to cook though for, you know what, 15 minutes? Nah, it's not so bad. So we'll have to have something to talk about for 15 minutes. So come up with your ideas and we'll talk.
You could plant rant.
I could play around about anything. You just gotta put the idea in my head.
This is delicious. I'm addicted. Oh God, you're making me so hungry.
The fennel, did you get a piece of fennel yet?
Fennel?
It's just like,
Amazing.
it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's not licoricey. Once it's roasted like this, it just has a subtle little sort of spritz, like almost like a citrus would.
What was that other thing we roasted? Didn't we roast jicama? And you like really loved it?
I forget. I wouldn't put it past me. This is good.
A lot of people want to see like a walkthrough of the new website. Is that able to be done?
Okay, that's what we'll do when the cookies are cooking. Okay? Great. We'll do that.
It's so good. I can't stop eating. And it's like, I want a piece of the Brussels sprouts. They're flaking off. They got the little burn marks on them. Oh my God.
So good. And the gravy's so good. And I didn't even put the cashews in.
Right.
Like I normally put a handful of cashews. Even just like that big batch of gravy, remember it filled almost the whole blender. Just a handful, a quarter cup.
Yeah.
Is all it needs to have a little bit of richness. So good. Now that was Thanksgiving for me. Everything else is extra and fun and a novelty. And if you like cooking, then the hustle and bustle of cooking on Thanksgiving weekend, you'll enjoy and you like to try new things. And that's why our holiday guide that we put right here has at least, how many other recipes does it have in there? I forgot when I was going through it, but at least like another 6+ recipes on top of the 3 we just did, and the 4th would be the cookies is in there.
I keep wondering, like, what is this amazing flavor that I'm tasting? It's the cosmic dust.
On the veggies. It is really exceptional. It just works.
So good.
Yeah, I forgot to talk about that. I mean, it has all the things you would put on roasted veggies, so it makes sense to me that that happened. Why don't you take that with you?
I could just eat this
Here's some potato.
forever. So good. Ooh,
All right.
cranberry sauce, yes.
Oh, we do have a cranberry sauce that we've made on our show. Again, if you go to the members index and you start, there's a search bar just on the members index.
Roasted radishes, maybe.
I'll show you when we demo the site.
That's, I think, maybe what I'm thinking of. Roasted radishes. That's the thing that you discovered that you love.
Those were good, the roasted radishes. I would have done that today if I thought of it. There's something about a roasted, regular old red radish. Just cut them in half. They're really, really, really good. And they're like juicy.
Jill says,
they're much more mild.
is the gravy from scratch in the guide? Yes, it's in the guide.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. Oh, I guess we'll need this. Cookies. This is a Reeb's cookie. I kind of feel like she should be making it.
I haven't made it in so long.
We don't eat a lot of sweets, like a lot of desserts, okay? Again, it's the ROI on my time. It's just not there for sweets for me. I would always take an extra, if I had room for sweets, I'd just take an extra helping of food instead.
Yeah.
So that's just me. So we don't focus on a lot of desserts, and if we do, it's not the things that, we don't like to do the really rich desserts that are like technically with compliant ingredients, but they're like still a ton of fat, tons of nuts, tons of chocolate, things that are like really, really rich. We like some things that are more subtle, that hit our taste buds sort of like the food does, but it's a dessert. Am I making any sense to people? It's just that the hyper sweet and rich desserts, even though they might be compliant, they kind of go against the whole mentality of eating light and eating lean, and so even though it's not oil, it's straight a gallon of nut butter. You know, I don't love it that much. I'd rather eat food. So that's kind of my own personal background on desserts. That's why you don't see a lot of desserts from me, but we're gonna do one.
Before you really dive in, can you go over the difference between all the dusts again? Because people are asking.
Oh, sure. So our Stardust, first of all, was the first one we came out with. This was our salt substitute. Some people liken it to the Benson's Table Tasty. It's got that kind of, and if it settles, just give it a good shake, and it'll come right apart. But it's got more of, and what makes it characteristic like that is the celery seed, the ground up celery seed. So this does have a it reminds you of salt. So it gives you that crisp, bright flavor, kind of like a salt. But it doesn't have like the potassium chloride or any of the fake stuff. It's still real, food. So that's kind of like our first one that you can sprinkle it on the table and it gives it some saltiness for the people that are totally avoiding salt. But it's really good in a lot of dishes,
I love using that, I love using it a little bit like in hummus when I'm mixing it up. It's so delicious.
Yeah.
It just brings out all the flavor.
It's not just a topper.
Right.
Then we have Galaxy Dust, which is one of my favorite products that we make, which is more of this sort of red color. It's got some turmeric, a little tomato and bell pepper. This Stardust has a little nutritional yeast. This does not. This is for the people that don't want nutritional yeast. Is who I made the Galaxy Dust for. But it is a really good all-purpose. It's got lots of citrusy in it, more than the Cosmic Dust. It's really good. So Cosmic Dust is back to, it does have nutritional yeast, and it does have, it's more of a, I don't want to say earthy. It's still bright. It's still bright and has a citrusy flavor to it, not as much as Galaxy. I don't think it has tomato. So it's not like as bright red and orange, but it does have like coriander, oregano, basil, I think cumin, you know, things like that. It's a really good all-purpose. It's hard for me to explain flavors without just reading off the ingredients. So
it's because you're not a chef.
Yeah. Eventually we'll make a 3-pack like bundle. You can get them all together or something, and maybe we'll have a special little box that they go in or something. Those kinds of things we didn't get done for the holiday season this year, but next year a lot of things are going to be changing in the next year. It's going to be wild in a good way, growing, making our own products instead of having somebody else manufacture them. But I won't say too much because I've been talking about us getting our own building for like 2 straight years now, and it's finally looking good. So.
Yeah, and some people were asking about Canada shipping too.
And the Canada shipping we hope to have before our big Black Friday telethon that we're going to do, making all kinds of recipes using our products. So sometime this month, I'm hoping that Canada shipping is all ready to go. Okay, we'll do a demo of the site while we're waiting for the cookies to cook. Now, I have not made these cookies in a little while. So
yeah,
we're
me
going
neither.
to, do you want me to literally sift the flour? Do you actually do that? Do you use a flour sifter, Chef Reeves?
I don't know.
Well, here is one, so I sure
You got
can.
it. You got the
Ooh,
gadget.
this one's not in great shape. Let's see what happens. We're going to use this tiger nut flour. Tiger nut is not a nut. It is, I guess, it's a starch. I mean, it's a carbohydrate flour. It's pretty nice. It's pretty good for baking. You can get it online. Cass, you could drop an Amazon link to tiger nut flour. I bought this on Amazon and received it the same day. And it's real fluffy. So what do you call for, ma'am? 2 cups. All right, so these are, by the way, this is Reeves' walnut cookies. That's all I can say. And I'm gonna follow her directions, and hopefully a cookie will come of this, because I'm pretty sure when she did this last year or a few years ago, you are the one who did it on the show.
Yeah, I might have been. A lot of people are intrigued by the roasted radishes.
Oh yeah, you should definitely try that. They're very good. Okay, that's tiger nut flour. It is a little clumpy. Now I see why you wrote to sift it. So we will indeed use the sifter and send it through as easily as possible. And this is, you know, bakers use these little tools, the sifter, okay? Flour sifter, is that what it's called? Who's out there that has some baking experience? This helps it to not be so clumpy. But the spring in it is not awesome.
Yeah, it's a little worn out on that.
So, anyway.
He's just sifting. A flour sifter is not chefy.
It is or it isn't? A flour sifter is chefy?
Flour sifter is what it's called.
Oh, I thought you said it's chefy.
What is tiger nut flour?
Can you Google that?
Yeah.
I don't know what tiger nut is. I just know that it's a gluten-free flour that's great for baking. There are, like, as I look in here, there are a lot of little balls of tiger nut flour, so the sifter is probably a good idea. Maybe I can break them up a little.
Well, it's made by roasting tiger nuts and processing them into a fine powder.
But tiger nut's not a nut, right? Can you confirm what tiger nut is?
Yes.
Is it a root? Is it a... Okay. All but a teaspoon out, you know, that was the little clumps, so I get it. Okay, we need a half a cup of date powder. Date powder can settle too, just bang your container and it'll be loose again. Half a cup. Date powder I love to cook with. I don't like to use the date paste or the date syrup. You can make your own by just adding water to date powder. So I'll either use whole dates and blend them up, like when I make oat clusters, or I like to use the date powder. I really don't like to use any other sweeteners. The date syrup is fine if you don't have a problem, but if you're a sweet person, that can be a slippery slope, in my opinion, having that stuff in the cupboard all the time. Here's a 1/4 cup. This is a 1/4 cup. And here's a 1/2 cup. I also, like I said, I don't eat that many sweets, so if I had a bottle of date syrup, for me, it would just never get used. Whereas date powder, I use it all the time. I add it to the kids' oatmeal. We go through one of these containers probably in a week or 2, and the kids just love, all it is water, oats, date syrup. And sometimes if Luca's getting excited, he'll come up, we'll put his little stander, we call it, and he can stand up tall, and he can chop a banana with his little kid's knife and throw the banana in the oatmeal.
I forget
he loves
what
to
those
participate.
things. Oh, it's what are they?
Kitchen tower.
Yeah, but
leaning
Luca
tower.
calls that a standard.
He calls it his stander, so now that's all we call it.
Can I have my stander?
Do you want to see it? This is what it is. So we've done a few modifications. You can sort of see there's a floor table behind Rebecca in her image.
Oh yeah, you can see
And
that.
so we have we took the IKEA high chair and we cut the leg, we cut our own legs. So now Otis can sit down, we can all be down on the floor at Luca's height and be eating together. And then this is for him, he can climb in here and he can do all the cooking. And he goes to a Montessori school, which is really like utilitarian. He learns things. He puts his clothes in the hamper. He puts his dishes away. He sets the table for dinner. He gets his cup and he pulls the milk out of the fridge and fills his cup on the floor. Because
does Luca really need a stander? Isn't he tall enough by now? No.
No, he's not
still
tall
only
enough.
2. Okay, I know time's flying by, but.
Mix in the walnuts. Okay, we're gonna just chop some walnuts by hand. No big deal. You can put them in a bag and blunt force smash them, or you can chop them with a knife, which is what I'll do.
Okay, I've been shopping on my phone while watching live on the big screen. Holiday cookbook, cosmic, and sweet mustard dressing. What is one more must-try product?
The date powder. If you eat oatmeal at all, the date powder is just, it's got to be. You don't want to
I was
chop.
going to say date powder, but you want to know why? Even though I do love oatmeal. But date powder for things like put a tablespoon into a big pot of chili and it's just going to rock your entire world.
It's, they use a lot of sugar in tomato sauces. And I didn't realize that I was missing a little bit of sweetness to counteract the acidity of the tomatoes. And so yes, when you're making a tomato-based sauce or a chili, a little bit of date powder sprinkled in is like so nice. And you don't want to like have to chop up dates and mess around every time. I guess that's an example of when you could use your like syrup, but this is more whole food. There's going to be more, that whole animal. And date syrup, the fiber is filtered out and you're just left with a sweet paste. And, is it that big of a difference? Is it that big of a deal? No, but when you have a certain like mantra about you, when it's not hard, then I'm just gonna stick to my mantra. And until there's something that I don't have an alternative for, and then I'll eat something more processed. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people are saying, obviously, the vegetable broth too.
Oh yeah, the veggie broth. Our cheese sauce mix is really popular. That's the first product I ever came out with, and it's still one of our most popular products. Until we came out with the veggie stock, I think it was. Our soups, if you haven't tried our soups, the nice thing is, I'm going to show you the website when we sit down here in a few minutes. But our soups are just so good.
Oh, yeah.
I was eating them last week because I was so busy when we were launching the website that I just didn't have time to move. So I was just throwing them in the Instant Pot with water, rock and roll. Okay, I chopped up a cup of walnuts.
Somebody said you should have used the garlic rock.
Yeah, you could have done that. It would have made a little more of a mess, but.
Oh my gosh. My family tomato sauce recipe uses 1/4 of a cup to 1/2 of a cup of sugar.
It's way more common than I realized. We're also going to use a cup of cashew butter. I'm sure you could use any kind of nut butter. Cashew butter is a little sweeter, I feel like. It's, I don't know. It's just sweeter, I guess, than peanut butter. It seems more desserty without a characteristic flavor. Like peanut butter is very peanut. Very peanut flavored.
You can't take peanuts to the kids' school, so I was buying them sun butter pepper. Sunflower butter. What was I saying?
Sun butter. They call it sun butter.
Yeah, so I called it
short.
sun butter butter.
I'm stepping on stuff. Okay, so this is gonna add richness along with the walnuts, you know. So
it is a dessert.
It is a dessert.
You know, it's
You
still
want
a dessert.
You want something that's desserty, that's not so rich. Make my oat clusters. Those are you're gonna be as much sweetness as you want by adding dates, and then walnuts I like to put in my oat clusters too. So they are kind of a cookie. The kids definitely think it's a cookie, which is great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Sometimes Luca needs to be coerced to finish his meal, and he'll get a cookie after an oat cluster, which is just more healthy calories, and he didn't have to be told that.
Right. You've labeled it a treat, and he trusts you because that's what AG is. And it is a treat. Just a healthy one.
Okay, cashew butter.
Who here in the chat has oat clusters in their freezer right now?
I love them in the freezer.
Seeing as I'm learning more and more about the super cubes and how to use them, I haven't been convinced to buy them yet. Maybe I'll ask Santa Claus for some. Mm-hmm. But it seems like a lot of you have a lot of frozen goods in your freezer, which is great because it means that you always have something at the ready. You could just defrost and reheat. I haven't quite learned the art of freezing and reheating myself, so I'm learning from you guys.
I'm not the best at frozen ready meals, but I've gotten pretty good at having frozen veggies and ingredients to make fast things like our potato corn chowder, which is just throwing frozen things in. Our Instant Pot ziti I often make with frozen stuff. Here is, I need a cup of applesauce. We don't have applesauce in the jar because the kids, it'll just go bad. They don't eat that much applesauce. So when they do finally ask for it, having these little containers is nice. It's a little bit more waste, but what can you do? I'll use the same one and see if I can, because it does say a cup. Yeah, you're gonna need more than this then. Looks like these are about a half a cup. Close enough.
Yeah, the little, I never know.
Okay, and then a little vanilla, and that's our cookie.
Why make it any more complicated than that?
You could use 1 teaspoon of the powdered vanilla. We can't seem to ever get out of the liquid. Oh gee, I'm not gonna pour all that in.
Super cubes are the bomb for freezing. I gotta try it. I only have a regular sized freezer, so I don't have a lot of room for frozen items, but I do have oat clusters in there.
Haha. Okay, here we go. Let's see what comes of this dough ball.
Dough ball.
I think I got everything in. The flour, we started with the tiger nut flour that we sifted in. We had the date powder, which is so fine, it's like a flour also. The walnuts, the vanilla, the cashew butter, and the unsweetened applesauce. And I have a feeling I'm gonna need to get my hands dirty here. So let's start by getting our baking sheet ready. Let's preheat this sucker. And we'll use this. Actually, we have a better tray. That's the tray that comes with the Breville. But we have one that Gina left. But she's the one who told us about this one that fits just perfectly inside of the Breville Smart Oven. Another luxury tool, which is nice for not, we don't need a lot of oven space. So the little countertop oven is pretty handy, especially for the show. We use it a lot for our cooking show, of course. Okay, let's get in here with our hands and get dirty. You're just gonna work this into a doughy cookie.
All right,
Simple
let's
as
see
that.
it. I like the countertop because it shuts off by itself, the Breville.
Yeah, that is a nice feature.
I was confused when we first got it about preheating it. Like, what do you do? And it's like, oh, you just put it right in there.
Yeah, it preheats so fast, but I just turned it on to preheat it. So I still do that, but it's not really necessary. Okay, make sure your hands are clean when you do this. Now I've got a lot on there. This is a sticky one. Sorry if I'm offending anyone with my hand use.
It's your kitchen, your rules. Is the cookie recipe in the holiday PDF? It sure is.
Yeah, it's like the last page.
And I'm going to link it for you again, just so you have it.
Okay. Let's make cookies. How did you do this? With your hands or with a little spoon?
Did I use a little cookie scooper?
It's been a whole year now.
Yeah.
We'll try.
You know, they call it a cookie for a reason. I really only make these at the holidays, so it's like every holiday I have to remind myself how to do it.
Yeah, this is. If I. How big did you make them? Like pretty small? It's
A little
gonna be
bigger
mess.
than that.
I think I'm
maybe.
gonna use a spoon. Can I accomplish this with spoons?
Do you have that little cookie scoop?
Oh, is that what you did?
Yeah.
Did you like dip it in water first or something?
No. You got this.
This is an ice cream scooper. That?
That's an ice cream scooper? It's so small. But that's the thing I meant.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Told ya.
Good work there, Reebs. Wow. Okay. So yeah, you just kind of press it in and that's working, that's gonna work pretty good. Let's see what happens when it gets all dirty though. Okay.
It'll be great. Yeah, I don't know what people actually use that size for, like butter on top of a pancake. I don't know.
I mean, I don't even know why we own it.
For this.
This, I guess.
Super
yeah.
cubes are great for freezing your onions, carrots, and celery in 1 to 2 cup measurements. Then they're there for any recipe that calls for mirepoix.
Love that.
Mimo
Love
uses that to make oat clusters. It's called a cookie scoop. Okay, thank you.
Get out of town. This is a cookie scoop? Oh man, you guys got me. Are you serious? It sure seems like it was built for this. I thought it was just an ice cream scooper. I see it in there. I'm like, why do we even have? There's just like
It's
another
like the
size.
world's smallest scoop of ice cream.
And we have a bigger one too. And I'm like, why? I live with like Miss Get Rid of It. And here I am with this thing I've never used.
Just get rid of it. I'm always trying to. We got to go through this.
Yeah.
We got to spring clean.
She's organized.
Like it's the middle of summer.
It's
No, we need to spring clean.
Again, it's fall.
Yeah.
Again, it's winter. Okay, you don't have to like be that careful with spreading these out.
Anyone like me, I'm allergic to clutter. And I'll get rid of stuff that later I'm like, oh, I actually kind of liked that thing. Why did I give it away?
I know, you're an impulsive clutter hater.
Yeah, like some people are hoarders and I'm on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. I'm an impulsive clutter hater, just like you said.
You're why hoarders feel successful. Because they're like, I'm never gonna get rid of this because I'm gonna want it again someday.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, now I want it again, I have to re-buy it.
And Joy says date powder is a game changer for oatmeal.
Yeah.
It is, because you should show them what we do. We pre-batch our oatmeal for the week,
Yeah,
so that when it's crazy in the morning, we just grab the jar. I'll have Dylan show you. I feel you, Reebs. I also hate clutter. Reebs, so funny, I do the same thing. Only hubby has separation anxiety.
Separation anxiety. Oh gosh, is that what you say about me?
The few times I've gotten rid of stuff, then I ended up wishing I hadn't. Yeah, I've done that. Yeah.
No, Reeves has brought great organization to my life. Okay, cookies. How do you like them apples?
I like them.
They look pretty nice. Oh, I got a spot right here for one more.
Oh, okay.
I've got enough to make maybe 5 more in the bowl.
I hate clutter, but I have clutter. It's a conundrum.
Yeah, that's probably me. I don't love the clutter, but I don't have it organized. But I do a heck of a lot more now that I'm with Reeves.
I have found, it's
she
not.
She just takes me through one room of the house and.
Yeah, it's not clutter that I hate. It's that I hate that when things don't have a place to live. When things don't have a proper home, then it makes me have anxiety.
Okay, I'm gonna start with 11 minutes apparently. Sorry.
I mean, like your monster spoon, you went to grab it from the section that the monster spoon lives.
Right, I don't use it, well, I actually do use it quite often, but.
And you always know it's gonna be there.
But you're talking about, you make me get rid of things I haven't used for a year, and then like 2 years later, I'm like, well, sure wish I had that. You're like, if you haven't used it for a year, you're never gonna use it. And I'm like, is that true? Is that true? Okay, let's show the website. I hope
Yeah.
everybody's having a good time. We're just kind of hanging out here. This was a last minute decision to throw together a free show for everybody. To bring us all together going into the holidays, because this is the best time of year, and it also can be the most unhealthy time of year. So be careful. All right, I'm getting a chair. Back to you, Reeves.
Okay. A place for everything and everything in its place. Exactly. And if there aren't enough places for everything, that's when you gotta take some things away from that
Yeah.
section of the home.
This is possibly our longest show ever.
Thank you for this special session, says Janet. Deb says, received my PDF. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Order placed. I'm looking forward to trying the date powder and sweet mustard. Can't wait to flip through the holiday book. I want to try it all, says Trisha. Thanks for the order. We certainly appreciate you.
Thank you.
So happy you guys are still alive. Heck yeah.
Still alive? Where would we have died to?
Not alive. I clean my
Oh,
junk.
live. Did I hear wrong?
Yeah. I clean my junk drawer every 3 months. In no time, it's full again. I know what you mean.
Okay, are we ready to go to Well Your World Land?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Reeves, did you want to be on here?
First of all, hold on. Kim says date powder is the best because it stops me from eating all the dates I'd have if I didn't have the powder.
Okay, that's another good point, folks, is that having dates in the pantry can be definitely trouble for some people. If you're working on weight loss and you're chowing on dates all day long, it can definitely be tricky. But you're still entitled to a little sweetness in your oatmeal without it being an overboard problem. And date powder does allow you to get dates out of the house. And that is a great point and one of the considerations when I made that, when we first came out with it. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Great point. Okay, here's the site. Looking pretty. This is us. This is Rebecca, 9 months pregnant.
Do you want
really
to
tell.
take that out?
Oh, yes, thank you.
Yeah, I was. Somebody asked, they're like, oh, expecting another one? No, that was Luca in there.
Yeah.
That's how long ago we took those
It took
pictures.
us a long time to get our website done, okay? It wasn't, it's just we did so much this last couple of years. Okay, so you start out with, this is the banner at the top of the page, simplify your healthy diet. That's kind of our whole shtick. Spend less time cooking, that too. You can go straight to the store with this button here. You can go and learn about our live cooking show with this button here. Let's do that. If you go to the live cooking show, here's our next show is November 15th at 11 Pacific. And then you scroll down, and this is promoting the cooking show, okay? This is me selling you the cooking show on the website.
They said, oh, that's Dylan? Didn't recognize him without the beard.
Yep, that's me. What's in it for me? Simple cooking. Learn our fast, easy, Well Your World cooking style. Join our community. Exclusive recipes and replays. And your members only discount 10% off everything. And you can just hit sign up and go sign up, or you can keep going down the page. This tells you a little bit about what to expect during the show. This gives people a little promo on why do I care about eating a plant-based diet anyway. And these are really the reasons that are most important to me, is achieve a healthy weight, protect against disease, live an active lifestyle, and spend less time cooking. This is, we're all about the fast, easy cooking method that helps you to actually stick to your diet forever, not just eat plant food. I mean, you got to actually do it every day. And it's all about fast and easy. What's included? Your 2 new shows every month. Hang out in the live chat, ask questions, whatever questions you want, you can bring them to the show and derail me as much as you like. Brand new simple recipes. All the recipes that we make are first made on our cooking show, kind of like we did today, except oftentimes I'm doing it for the first time live and we just have fun, and almost never does it flop. It's almost always, good stuff. 10% discount. The 4 cameras, look at the cameras. Whoa, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the cutting board. There's the stove. We got the Reeves cam. access to all the replays. That you get to download a PDF for each one. No contract, you can cancel anytime. Some testimonials
You could
from
even
people.
show what the episodes look like in the PDFs too.
Well, I can, but that happens to be one page we haven't finished and doesn't look as pretty as it's going to be, but yes, I can. We're almost done that. Here's just, again, just a little summary, and then you can click the button and go to the, add it to your cart, and away you go. Okay, back to the home page. So that's the little live cooking show button there. Let's Shop just takes you straight to the store. If you scroll down, you've got 4 of our featured products here. If you hover over, you get a different picture. The Cosmic Dust only has 1 picture so far. We just launched it today.
Yeah, we just
There's our
launched it
$10
today.
off the cookbook. And now when you go to the cookbook, you'll pick, okay, do I want paperback and digital or just digital only? The digital only is $9.99. You can hit the paperback and that's $19.99. Add it to your cart and away you go. If you're in Canada, you can only add the digital version. Scroll down, a little promo about our cookbooks. Oh, we got to add a couple to that picture, don't we? And there's a little, and then this will take you just to our page, our shopping page that has all the cookbooks and some cookbook bundles that get you a little discount, etc. Join the community. Here's just another thing about the live cooking show and our community of awesome people that are you. About us, you can learn about us, our little story here. This is about us as a company too. Products that are actually healthy. What makes our products unique, SOS-free, plant-based. They allow you to save time in the kitchen, and it's more than just food products. And then here's a little story about us. Here's a little bit about how we do things. And then a little bit about the cooking show and some featured products down at the bottom. You can join our newsletter. Make sure you do that and you're on there. If you downloaded the guide today, you're on our newsletter. Okay, I think we looked at everything here. Why a plant-based diet? Oh, we have one little, this is probably our most popular little free guide, which is about recipe amnesia and our meal rotator. That is I do not like meal plans that people pay like a whole bunch of money for these meal plans, and it puts you on such a rigid schedule that you're like feeling bad if you can't keep to your meal plan, and it ends up just creating more anxiety and causes you to just fall off because you're like, I can't do this simple meal plan they created, then how am I going to stick to this healthy eating? So I really do not like meal plans, but our meal rotator is a different thing. That's what this guide is here that you can download. You get the free guide, it pops up, put your name and email in, and you'll have it in your email in like 2 minutes.
A few people in the chat weren't getting that pop-up because they have pop-ups turned off.
Oh, really? It's that kind of pop-up? Gee, I didn't think that this was considered a pop-up in the conventional.
So I don't know much about pop-up blockers, but maybe you can mark Well Your World safe
Well,
somehow.
you can also go hit this more free resources, and
Put it back up.
So if you, if you hit the more free resources, you'll go to this downloads page, and I'll show you how to get here from the menu bar too. But you can, no pop-ups required here, and you can download all of our different free guides. We'll come back to that. And then some popular YouTube videos. Follow us on YouTube. That'll just open our YouTube channel. And simple. Join the newsletter. That's at the bottom of every page. Okay, so that's like the main home page. But the meal rotator is awesome if you haven't gotten it, because it's a concept more of just pick 5 or 7 recipes and do them on repeat. Instead of having 30 recipes for a month or more, pick a handful of recipes and do them every day. That is the key to getting really good at this, and to lowering your standards as far as needing a new novel recipe every day. Nobody can keep up with that unless you have a personal chef.
Or just eat mashed potatoes and gravy and roasted vegetables every day.
That can be your rotation. And then you've got, we made, as you can see on the screen, these nice little recipe cards that you can cut out, and so that's really handy. Okay, so now going back up, we got the About Us page we looked at already, the live cooking show. This is the live cooking show kind of about the show that we looked at. Here's where our replays are. So if you go here, you see all of our previous shows, and then you click watch replay, and you'll have to log in to view the show, which I can show you, but the login page isn't done yet. It's not part of the pretty part of the site that I wanted you to see. And then we have our recipe index for all of our member recipes. And this
Yeah,
is
show how
where
that works.
this is where, you know, every show we've ever done is on here, and you can narrow it down. It's only searching by the name of the recipe. You can't like type in broccoli and see every recipe that it's ever had broccoli. Maybe someday, but like you see simple roasted veggies. If I just start typing roasted, now anything that's any episode that's got the word roasted in one of the names is going to show up now in this list. Okay, so roasted red pepper, roasted tomatillo, roasted cauliflower. Likewise, you can search cauliflower. If you know it's going to be in the name, then it's going to come up. Roasted cauliflower sheet pan, roasted cauliflower salad, grilled cabbage and cauliflower. So this is really handy. Don't hit enter. Oh, they fixed it. Yay. It was before, if you hit enter right in this box, it was resetting it. Ooh, cookie time. And then free stuff. This is a really good page for most people. You got the free downloads. That's where, you know what, we better just check these and see if they need more time, okay? Let's come back to that. That was 11 minutes. They need more time. Let's do another 5.
Love the search feature, Alyssa says.
Yeah, our previous search feature was not as good. So this is a lot nicer. Now here are the rest of the free downloads. So we have our 1-month challenge, which is, in my opinion, what?
I'm starting to think you guys really care about us.
We sure do. Caring about you is what makes us feel like our jobs are actually good. We've all been in jobs that we hate, and this isn't one of them. And it's thanks to you and the interactivity that we get with actual real people. 1-month challenge workbook. This is arguably the most beneficial document I've ever made as far as helping people to get started with a healthy plant-based diet and create attainable, you know, real, doable, mechanical actions, your habits that you're going to do every month that'll help you to get results and stick and track your results on a little calendar. Hugely important, this document. If you haven't done it and you're struggling, then you really need to do a 1-month challenge. My first probably 6 months of eating this way was 1-month challenge after 1-month challenge after 1-month challenge. I couldn't have done it any other way. How to cook with no oil. This is helpful for people that are brand new as well. Calorie density. The number one, this could arguably be the most important concept is, of health and weight loss, is understanding calorie density, which is a very non-scientific, too many people take calorie density and turn it into some sort of science class. Calorie density is just eating the fewest number of calories per bite of food. And if you can master that while still being full, physically full of food so that you're not starving, but the calories that are in that food aren't very high, you just solved weight loss. Okay?
Like the meal we made today, the gravy we made nut-free.
Yeah.
It was a very low calorie
meal that is very rich and hearty still and fills you up. That's the key to weight loss, is being full as often as you can with low calorie density food so that it's not getting stored on your body as fat. Okay. So that's calorie density, your weekly meal rotation. We talked about such an important concept for your day-to-day meal rotation and knowing what to eat. You just put these cards on your pantry and you just say, okay, I've got everything in stock for this, this, and this. Which one of them do I want? Starch Blaster is a fun one for just the fastest, easiest meal. Before I met Rebecca and I was a bachelor and growing this business, I ate Starch Blaster every day. And I don't mean almost every day, I mean every day. And so if you are stuck in a rut and you need a meal that you can just throw everything in the Instant Pot, turn it on and be done, that's it. If you can make that, if you have the 5 minutes that it takes to make that, you're all out of excuses now. You can eat this diet, you can get your health back, you can do it. Eat that every day and you'll be full. And then just change up what you put in it. And Starch Blaster is a formulator that'll help you to create that. Okay, so that's my favorite page, probably of the whole site. Product guide, this will open up a product guide in a new tab that's gonna have all recipes with, let's zoom out. All recipes, oh, can't you change that to have both our photo?
Sure.
This is a little outdated. I mean, it's not 5 years old outdated, but Rebecca didn't want her name on things at first.
Yeah, I know it's outdated. Where's your beard?
We're married now. So this is a guide of look at all the recipes using specifically our store products, okay? You know, I'm always on our live cooking show. I make it so you don't need our store products to participate because a lot of people can't get them. Maybe they're too expensive. Maybe they're in Canada, which we'll have that problem solved soon. But in our live cooking show, you don't have to have my products. Yeah, we use them in the cookies, but you could have used, you know, whatever. That's not a very good example because there isn't a whole lot else that's healthy that you could have put in a cookie. But, you know, with our veggie broth mix, you can buy veggie broth. With our spice blends, you can use your favorite all-purpose spice blends. You don't have to have our stuff. And so we make sure that in our regular cooking show membership, they're all scratch recipes that don't need Well Your World products. So this is essentially just a recipe book using our products. Okay. Then we go back up to the free stuff. This goes to our YouTube videos and all of our blog posts. This is another page. Like if I click this button, I don't even know if I want to. But this page is not updated yet. So this is kind of the old design. We haven't gotten it fully as nice as what we want it to be. So that's our YouTube videos. This is just blog posts that show the recipes and everything. Okay. Then we've got our YouTube Hangouts. This is when we go live the day before our cooking shows. We'll have a few of those in here. I need to fix the spacing on this. Okay, so this is when we just sit on a Thursday before the Friday live show and we do Q&A here on YouTube. And then this just goes to the Amazon store. A contact form. You can fill that out and we'll get an email if you have a question, a product, if you got a broken item in the mail or something that we need to replace for you, you can send it here. And that's really it.
Show them the chat too.
This chat here is a handy little, it's got some FAQs. Do you ship to Canada? What's your return policy? What's your shipping policy? And then it explains, okay, our shipping policy is we have free shipping on all orders over $50. Otherwise, it's $9 flat rate for under $50. However, our apparel and our cookbooks always ship free. So it just kind of outlines some commonly asked questions. Yeah, okay. What's the product shelf life? We used to get this question a lot. Now we almost never get it because we have this little chat bot to help answer some of those quick, easy questions. And if you still didn't get your question answered, then you can leave us a message and Cassandra or one of us will get back to you.
Cassandra just said she didn't know her little face was on there.
Your little face is on there, Cass. You're the face of the chat bot, except you're a real person. Okay, so that is what the website looks like. There's not a lot to the website. By design, we didn't want it to be a website with 1 million pages. We just wanted you to get a good understanding of what we actually do and what we care about and how we help people, and then you fit yourself into that. Where are you in this whole process? And so, how was that? Everybody like it?
Susan says, can we send you feedback using the Get in Touch, or is that for customer service for the shop? Feedback or questions?
Oh no, go to the contact page that I just showed you, this one. Yeah, Get in Touch. So send us anything you want here. A request for a show, or a request for a recipe, a question that you have about something you're going through in your life. If you're not a member and you have kind of an elaborate question, I'm going to save it for a Thursday hangout because I don't have time to respond by email because it's been so busy. If you're a member, I'm going to try to spend more time on you. But for the most part, if you have general broad questions, send them there and we'll talk about them on our Thursday hangouts. If it's a really quick, easy question, we're going to email you back. Cass knows the answers to a lot of questions, okay? All right, did I answer that? Should we try these cookies?
Yeah.
Let's see if we
Thanks for showing that, Dill.
Yeah, did everybody like that? It's came out real nice. These are still soft. Should they be harder than this? I don't remember. And plus, once they cool,
yeah,
I
they
remember
might
them
harden
firming up more. But you know, it is kind of a nut butter cookie. That one stuck. I didn't have it on the paper. But they don't stick to the paper bad. They brown a little on bottom. So I seem to remember this is how they were, but they really ought to cool. But I don't think I'm going to be able to accomplish much like this. But here they are. They look a lot like they went in when they look like they did when they went in, except maybe just a little bit browning, and they're delightful. Let them firm up a bit. If you think they need more time, put them in for more time. That one is a bit soft, but I do remember them firming up into having a cookie-ish consistency. But these are still on the soft side.
Put them in use the hairdryer.
Okay.
Sheila says, put them in the freezer.
I'll use the hairdryer. But I don't think that's gonna be fast enough. This is how I cool the kids' food. The fastest way to cool a children's plate, a bowl of oatmeal, is to use the cold function on the hairdryer. Let's try it out. What else? What else do you guys want to talk about?
They're just loving the website.
I can't sit here and do this. It's too embarrassing. The cookies are delicious. They're gonna firm up once they cool. For me right now, they're a bit soft, but I remember exactly this cookie now, Reeves, from when you made it last.
You remember it? Because I don't remember it. I need to try one.
Delightful with a little glass of soy milk on the side. Mm-hmm. I like my soy milk on ice. Am I weird?
Okay, someone came late. Do a recap of what recipes we made.
We made mashed potatoes, a homemade mushroom gravy, and we made roasted veggies, the ultimate Thanksgiving plate, and we topped it off with some cookies by request. Well, we had it ready.
I can't show my plate because, can I come over?
Yeah.
I can't show my plate because it's too embarrassing.
And if you want to download the recipes, go right here, download them, wellyourworld.com/holiday guide.
These look good.
You'll get all the recipes we did today and quite a number of others that would be lovely for your holiday Thanksgiving meal. So get those. Mm-hmm. Did you taste it?
No, I'm scared. A lot of people said flatten them out with a fork before cooking.
That's a good idea.
Try it.
I could have done that.
Okay.
I'm not much of a baker, but those
I remember these
worked.
now too. I remember liking these a lot because they're pretty foolproof, and that's why it's got my name on them.
Yeah, you don't have to have separate things and then combine them and blah, blah, blah. It's just throw it all in, mix it together, make a cookie.
Simple and delicious.
Sure is. Okay, any other last minute questions? I think we covered a lot today.
Ooh, hot dog.
For a fun little hangout free show. I had a blast. Way more fun than shooting a regular old YouTube video with no one here to watch.
Yeah, no one here to talk to except for each other.
Thanks for joining us. We will be back for a live show next week. Don't forget our Cosmic Dust product was just released. We'll be sending out an email about all of this on Thursday. Make sure you're on our list. There it is. You can get it in the store right now. I know she's packing orders right now with
Delicious.
So, thank you all for joining us live. Thanks for catching the replay. We'll see you next week for another live cooking show for our members. Sign up if you haven't yet. I love you. Thanks for the support. Have a wonderful holiday season 2. Happy Thanksgiving early. And start eating your Thanksgiving meal like we did today.
Exactly.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.